Well, hello there, friends, and welcome to Virtual Strangers 82. I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend Roots. Roots, how's this week been treating you so far?
Good, good. I'm a little bit sore. I just read in the comments, Scion VR said, no population one for me today. My arms are sore. I just streamed 9 hours yesterday of it. And he was there for a couple. So come on, Scion. If Roots can do it, now my back is a little sore. It is a little stiff, but nothing. I guess that a little bit of stretching can't get out of my system, right?
So 9 hours. You play standing the whole time?
Yeah, yeah, that was the problem. Actually, well, we took a little breaks every now and then, like 5-10 minutes every probably a couple hours, and then I did stop. I didn't have everybody logged off for a little bit, so I thought, oh, it's a perfect opportunity to slow things down. I jumped into a little bit of walkabout mini golf. Tried that for the first time. Went through half of the courses. Amazing game. And yeah, and I'm just enjoying. I'm starting to switch it up. I was doing mostly Twitch, and now I'm doing some YouTube, and I feel like I'm having a little bit more success because people already are seeing me on YouTube, so they're looking for me there. And it's hard to get noticed on Twitch when you're a small streamer. So I kind of feel like our community of people that already know. So if you don't know, follow me on YouTube, subscribe, and then check me out. I'm gonna be streaming some Pop One at 2 today, which I guess is what 4 Eastern. Hopefully getting Wes in there with me for a little bit. He's got family visiting, but I bet maybe you can squeeze in there for a little bit, and we can rock it, dude.
For sure, man, because I have had a lot going on lately, and I haven't had time to play hardly any VR, Pop One included. And it's at the top of my list. So if you and yours don't mind carrying me for a little bit, I'll absolutely find time to get in there and play for a little while.
Yeah, I don't mind. I get my West time. It's good for me. That's what I want. And Bitey says he's got lag in Pop One, and I would ask, is Bitey in the UK or? See, that's the biggest problem. Is I mean, the game is really good at not splitting its player base. So good that I don't think they have any EU servers, Wes, and it's kind of a problem for people over there because they're getting. I've read that people are teleporting all over the place. I've seen people lag. I had a guy yesterday in midair as the shield or the wall was coming behind him. He froze in midair, and I just fucking mowed him down as he was just frozen in the air. And that's got to be so frustrating. I'd be like, no, I can't do this. So they really need to address that and at least get some EU servers because I think that's going to be an issue for people over there.
Yeah, it's like a tale of two games. Like Gamertag VR's in the chat. He says he literally doesn't even understand how people don't have a good time in Pop One. He says, and the experience from watching our Discord server, even the most critical members of our community are kind of digging Pop One right now.
Yeah, what's funny is there's a lot of people, Scion included, that said that this game looked like crap. They really weren't interested. Now, I will give Scion his. He did say a lot of it's just playing with me and other people. He really enjoys that. I think he enjoys the game more than he wants to admit. But even Zach Fontaine was like, "This game is sucks," and then he got into it and he's rocking it. He loves it. I think it's one of those games you got to try. Now, if you don't like battle royales at all, or if you're not playing with friends, you might get frustrated. I had somebody yesterday playing some really, really crappy music, really loud, and I didn't know how to mute them yet, so I ended up muting Scion as well because I was like, it was so bad, Wes. I started thinking, is that my stream music? Because I have my music set up to where people can pick what they wanted, and I was like, that's horrible. But as soon as I turned down everything from everybody else, my music was back. It was all peaceful. I could hear it again. And I just ended up like signaling to Scion it was that bad. But there is a mute button. You can actually mute people through the map individually, and I did not know that until the very next game, which was kind of nice. So
Yeah, so I guess we're just all kind of sporting our North American privilege over here, and it's probably the worst game of all time over in the EU. I imagine if they've got this 300 milliseconds, uh, lag going on, it's pretty much an impossible handicap, or at least a very difficult one to overcome.
yeah, I don't think I could do it because I mean, if like that guy, like even if I wouldn't have been there to shoot him, Wes, the wall was behind him. He was gonna die to the wall. So, like, at what point am I getting really far and then having something freeze or slow, or you think you're getting the drop on somebody, and then all of a sudden they're like over there shooting you from behind, and you're like, what happened? To me, that would be just break the game, and I'm glad I'm not in the UK or the EU because I'm loving the game.
You know who else likes to be shot from behind, Roots?
My mom.
Yeah, that's what I heard about her for sure.
Anyway, a lot happening this week, or not happening. It depends on who you ask, Roots. I'm kind of torn, man. I went through all the trouble to, pre-order this PlayStation 5, but everywhere I look this week, apparently, there's going to be no use for me. I bought it as a VR machine, and apparently, PlayStation VR has been confirmed dead by all of the VR media this week. And I'm left torn, Roots. I don't know. Should I cancel my pre order while I can still save that money?
I see. This is my thought. I wouldn't cancel it. I would still get it. And if you with you because you got what, another month or so, or not even a month, a few weeks, right?
Yeah, a couple weeks. I mean, if I'm going to get it on launch day, which they still haven't sent me any kind of indicator when I might receive mine, so I don't know. I I got my order in as soon as pre-orders went live on Amazon. So I mean, I can't be that far down the queue, but I don't know. I don't know exactly when I'm going to get mine.
Well, say assume you get it on day one, or even remotely before Christmas time. Whether there's VR or not, the scarcity of the console is still real, right? So I would just flip it. Like, if you decide, you know what, fuck PlayStation VR, there's no reason for me to have this 5 yet. Why not? You could just sell it for a few $100s more. I guarantee you'd say a week before Christmas time, and somebody's promised their kid they're getting the PlayStation 5. Wes will come through and he'll have it right there for $800. Easy peasy. You got it, bro. Or
Yeah,
whatever you feel comfortable with charging somebody, right?
yeah. Honestly, if I was going to not keep it, that would be the route I would take. But I was being a bit facetious. I'm 100% keeping my PlayStation 5, even if I couldn't use it for VR. Um, I mean, my kids, they've got kind of their heart set on the thing now, right? They didn't have to ask for it for Christmas because they knew Daddy was going to be getting one anyway.
Mm.
So it'd be kind of shitty for me to just go ahead and return it right now. But I was being a little bit facetious because there were some rumblings, some tidbits of news coming from the world of PlayStation VR this week, but I feel like they were mostly misinterpreted by the vast majority of the VR media. I will give props to Brian Paul and shout out PlayStation VR Without Parole. They've done a couple of videos on it this week, and I think that they're spot on. I think that everything that they said is exactly how I feel, and I'm largely going to be regurgitating a lot of that. But there are a couple of other angles I'd like to hit this from as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess there are a lot of angles to it, and one of them is just people overreacting. My thing is it absolutely affected my thoughts on it because um, I don't have a PlayStation 4, and it seems like a lot of what's happening is that a lot of people are just assuming it's dead. Well, no, it's just pushed back a little bit, and there's reasons for it. I would imagine, there's a lot of different reasons that are actually going to benefit us in the long run, which I'm sure you'll go over a lot of them. But I'm just thinking that there's so much knee jerk reaction that it's probably people freaking out a little bit too much about nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, and largely people are misinterpreting what was said in the first place. There wasn't really a whole lot said about PSVR and the future plans for VR on PlayStation 5. People just inferred that from it because I mean a lot of it has to do with the media, the VR media kind of misreporting and making assumptions. Uh, but which again could be true. I mean, everybody could be right. This thing could be dead in the water, and I'm just using a little bit of wishful thinking here. But when you look at what was said and the context of how it was said and when it was said, you start to realize that really nothing was said at all. It was just a bunch more of the same from Sony, just vague generalizations and non-committal statements with regards to PlayStation VR. Certainly, they could have said a lot more. Certainly, it would be great if they would be completely transparent and tell us what their plan is going forward. But they've opted to stay silent here, and I think that that's really, the news is that it's just more of the same.
Well, and people discount everything else that's been going on the last year or so. Like, I mean, one, the success of all the games and how many copies and how well it's done. Now they just decide, fuck it, we're just gonna abandon it. It makes no sense. The patents for controllers and different things, you know what I mean? Like, there's these things exist for a reason, and all of a sudden they just decided to scrap it all. I just don't buy that either. I just think that they want to. That when they do release everything, they want to make sure that everything's at least the version 2, that it's everything's lined up perfectly. And maybe they just want everybody focusing on one platform instead of trying to spread everything out and divide. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of reasons for it.
Yeah, Paradise Decay says a lot of VR titles have been removed from the PlayStation Store, and it does appear that way at first. I thought the same thing last week because they completely remade the PlayStation Store and they made it damn near impossible to navigate the PSVR catalog. Used to, you could click on the catalog and you could organize the titles any way you want, alphabetically, by release date, however you wanted. Now you don't have these options anymore. And if you go straight in and you click on PSVR, it just brings you into this random page of games that aren't in any specific order. And if you want to see more, you click on see more, and it gives you a bunch more random titles. And I thought that that was the only way to browse the PSVR catalog until today, when I was preparing for the show and doing the putting together the free stuff and killer deals segment. I found another way to get into the PSVR catalog, which has all of the titles listed alphabetically A to Z, and I mean, I didn't notice anything missing from it, and I went from A to Z and checked everything.
So you're saying the way that the new layout is kind of confusing. I kind of feel like that way about the Quest store. Like the Rift store is so much better. And I wish the stores would just let me list every, like you said, A to Z, so I can go through. If I'm looking for a game, I don't want to have to try to find a specific category and hope it's in there. Aside from typing in the name. I don't know. It's I guess a lot to do and about nothing. Now somebody said in the comments about, what about Ubisoft not working on PlayStation 5? I thought that.
Well, I think that that has a lot more to do with the technical details of how multiplayer is going to work on PlayStation 5. Um, it's not that these titles don't work anymore. It's the multiplayer Ubisoft titles aren't going to work through the backwards compatibility on PlayStation 5. So games like Werewolves Within, games like Star Trek Bridge Crew, if you want to play these games on PlayStation VR, you'll have to play them on a native PlayStation 4 because there's something about the multiplayer that doesn't work on the PlayStation 5.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. And I assume that they could probably work around it if they wanted to, but all that costs time and money, and I got to imagine that for the limited numbers of people who are actually still playing those games, it's probably not worth it to Ubisoft to support them.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and it's not like Within is like a burning game. I mean, Bridge Crew is fun too, but that's not everybody's not running out to play that game either. They're pretty old, and people are moving on. So,
Well, you got to think, nobody's learned the lesson about multiplayer in VR harder than Ubisoft when they released Space Junkies, which is another one of the titles people were talking about here that won't work. They released Space Junkies, which is a proper AAA VR shooter, a great game, but it failed miserably because they overpriced it. They overestimated the player base demand for any multiplayer game, and it pretty much was DOA. By the time that they tried to drop the price on it, it was too late. People had already written it off.
It's way too late. X Spacer X says Ubisoft retracted the statement because of inaccurate info. I'm not sure what their statement is, I guess.
I'm sorry, Ubisoft retracted their statement because of it. Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, so I'm not sure
Uh,
what.
I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say I'm not sure what the statement is then at this point, right?
Well, they made some statements about. I mean, I don't know exactly what he's referring to, but basically, this is stuff what we're just talking about here. Uh, Ubisoft's done this a couple of times where they've made comments about PlayStation, something on PlayStation 5, and had to retract it because something that they said doesn't jive with the Sony company line. So I got to imagine if they retracted anything, it's because Sony's probably squeezed them a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about what we actually got this week from Sony. Let's break it down, not only by what was said, but by the context with which it was said, and let's see if what all the people were saying are true. So, what are people saying? They're saying that PSVR 2, if it's coming at all, is at least 2 years away. People are saying that the PlayStation 5 cannot support, or the PSVR headset is incapable of supporting PlayStation 5 games, so no possibility of a PS5 exclusive ever being released for the existing PlayStation VR. And they're also saying that the backwards compatibility will show no benefit over a PlayStation 4 Pro. Since the way that the backwards compatibility works is by making the PlayStation 5 believe that it is a PS4 Pro, that it is going to perform exactly the same, that the CPU and GPU and all that hot new tech in the PS5 is going to intentionally downclock itself so that the experience on PS5 is indistinguishable from a PlayStation 4 Pro. These are the things that people are saying. Now, let's take a look at what has been said and determine if that is actually the case, which it could be. So let's start with perhaps we should start at the beginning. Let's start with Sony Interactive Entertainment President and CEO Jim Ryan, who shared a few thoughts regarding VR during an interview with the Washington Post this past week. Some comments from Ryan regarding PS5's focus on immersive gaming set the stage for the interviewer to ask about the future of PSVR. So I want to point that out before we talk about what he actually said. I want to talk about the context with which in within which it was said. I actually watched the interview. I didn't, just catch snippets from interviews. I watched uh, on the Washington Post website the interview, and it's important to note here, Roots, that Jim Ryan didn't voluntarily make any kind of statements about VR. Jim Ryan was talking about PlayStation 5 and Sony's commitment to immersive gaming. He was talking about 3D audio. He was talking about advanced haptics and about how if you put these new tools in the hands of the best developers in the world, how we're going to get games the likes of which we have never seen before. And it was in this context that the interviewer asked Jim Ryan about VR.
Oh wow. So that's kind of telling there too, right? That was brought up and it wasn't something he wanted to bring up. I don't know why are they like, I just don't know. Like that's the one thing I want to know. Outside of everything that's really happening, I want to know why they're being so coy about it and not just being up front, because it's really creating a lot of freak out. And why would you
It
want to
is
freak everybody out?
it is creating a lot of freak out amongst the enthusiasts that make up the PSVR community. But I would point out that it's not just PSVR that they're being silent about. They were the same way with PlayStation 5 information leading up into the launch. This has been a launch unlike any other, where they've just been trickling out droplets of information, and people have been kind of piecing together piece by piece uh, all of the information with PS5 as we lead up into launch.
Hmm.
But I would say that their attitude toward VR has been the same as their attitude toward everything over the last year. They're just not saying much at all about anything.
Well, I guess it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. What else did we find out in this this interview?
Well, again, this is Jim Ryan talking to the Washington Post when asked about VR, because they were talking about immersive gaming. Naturally, the interviewer would ask about VR because it's the most immersive type of gaming. And this is what he said. He said, "I think we're more than a few minutes from the future of VR. PlayStation believes in VR. Sony believes in VR. And we definitely believe at some point in the future, VR will represent a meaningful component of interactive entertainment. Will it be this year? No. Will it be next year? No. But will it come at some stage? We believe that. And we're very pleased with all the experience that we've gained through PlayStation VR. And we're looking forward to seeing where that takes us in the future." So, Roots, from this statement here, I would point out a couple of things. One, first of all, quote, PlayStation believes in VR, Sony believes in VR. Um, that's a reassuring statement to me. That tells me that they're not just going to cut line, and at some point in the future, we are going to see PlayStation VR too.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because I didn't hear that they're abandoning PlayStation VR at all. Sounded like they're happy with where it's leading, and it's going to take maybe a little bit longer than they thought it would be, but they're still pushing for it, right? I mean, we still have all those super exclusive games that have been in the past that were amazing. I don't think they're going to stop making those games. I don't know.
And people are taking this statement as Jim Ryan saying that Sony isn't going to be doing anything new with VR for 2 years. And it's because of this statement. Uh, will it be this year? No. Will it be next year? No. And I'll point out that what he's talking about here, he doesn't say anything at all about PlayStation VR. He says that the future of VR, the point in time in which VR will be a meaningful component of their revenue stream, that's years down the road. That doesn't mean that there's not going to be a PSVR too soon. I mean, he said literally nothing about that. All he's saying is, as the point in time which VR becomes a big deal is still a couple years away at least. And I agree with that statement. I don't see anything to be concerned about there. There's certainly nothing being said about PlayStation VR at all. And again, the context, people. Uh, this is him being pressed for a statement on VR. It's not like he's coming out and saying, "Look, guys, it's going to be a couple of years." This is him being asked about it, being forced to comment on it. And I feel like, with regards to PlayStation VR specifically, he didn't really say anything at all here.
Yeah. No, he just basically said that the future of VR is there, but it's going to take a little bit longer than people thought in general. And all of a sudden, PSVR is abandoned and it's shit. And just get out, bro.
I'd point out that we hear all this from Oculus and Facebook, all of them touting the big success that Quest 2 is, and it is compared to previous efforts from Oculus. It's a huge success. They're saying that they're selling 5 times what they sold with Quest 1, which is gigantic for them. But to Sony, the numbers that Facebook are trumpeting right now, to Sony, this is a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
There's 120 million PlayStation 4s out there. So, selling a million or two headsets, while this is a big deal for Facebook, 5 to 6 million headsets is a drop in the bucket for Sony. So we need to take that into context too when we look at this quote, when he's talking about when VR will become meaningful. I got to imagine, Roots, that meaningful to Jim Ryan is 30 million headsets. You know what I mean? And we are quite a ways away from that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But I guess the we know the future for PlayStation VR is there. We don't know exactly what. That's my thing. I guess that's where, in a world of uncertainty, which we're definitely living in right now, people just wanted Sony to definitively say this is the way it is, and and that's not the way they're doing it this time. Like you said, they're releasing everything a little bit slower in a trickle, and I'm just gonna have to wait, bro. I think you'll be okay. You know.
I'm fairly certain that we will. But the day after this interview dropped, right, everybody's already kind of frothing at the mouth, freaking out over these statements from Ryan, which were literally non-statements in my opinion. Uh, the day after that happens, Upload VR runs a headline, quote, confirmed Hitman 3 and No Man's Sky PS5 versions don't support PlayStation VR. The headset can't play PS5 games. This is their headline. The headset can't play PS5 games. So then we read a little bit more into the article to what actually that they're referring to. And quote, earlier this week, Hello Games announced No Man's Sky's next generation PS5 native version, adding that on PlayStation, PSVR support was available, quote, by virtue of backwards compatibility. And then on the subject of Hitman 3, a Sony spokesperson told Upload VR via email that you'll need the PS4 version of Hitman 3 to play it in VR since PSVR operates as a backwards compatible device. This is important, Roots, this next part. The representative then went on to clarify we have not announced PS5 titles for PSVR. I repeat, we have not announced PS5 titles for PSVR. Both Hitman 3 and No Man's Sky, by the way, do have free upgrade plans for PlayStation 5. So if you get the PS4 version because you want to play it on VR day one, you're going to get the PS5 version for free of both of those games, just so that you all know. But Roots, people interpreted this. Well, they basically took the upload headline at its face value. That one, the only thing that PSVR is ever going to be able to do is play backwards compatible onto the PS4 mode, and two, that quote the headset can't play PS5 games. But let me ask you, Roots. We've already kind of established here that Sony is intentionally being silent about their plans for VR on PlayStation 5, right?
Yeah.
So we've got Ubisoft here who are basically having to watch what they're saying about it. And if they say anything about it, they have to say that it's uh, only backwards compatible mode, right? And then we have the same thing with No Man's Sky. We have the same thing with Hitman 3. They're all having to be careful how they word this and say that if you're going to play these games on PlayStation VR or on PlayStation 5, only in backwards compatible mode. I would submit, Roots, that it's at least a possibility that the reason why they're saying things this way is because Sony has not yet announced what their plans for the headset is on PS5. And the only thing that they can say right now is that you have to play it backwards compatibly. But I think it's very telling in Upload's very own words here that the Sony spokesperson came back to clarify that we have not announced PS5 titles on PSVR. Roots, they didn't say that there will be no PS5 titles on PSVR. They didn't say that the PSVR is incapable of playing PS5 games. All they said, and I think the wording says it all here, is that we have not announced it. And I think that people are misinterpreting this, or at least it's possible that people could be vastly misinterpreting what Sony's trying to not say here. Am
Yeah.
I crazy?
No, man. Everybody in this world wants to just they assume what they've read. They're putting what they think. They're insinuating. Because you're right. They didn't say that at all, or he didn't say that at all. He's very vague about it. He just said we haven't announced it, which they haven't. They haven't announced any titles. But they could do that next week. They could do it on launch. I mean, we don't know, but I just think it is very telling that they clarified it, like you said, just to specify. Look, we haven't announced them, and I think they would have said, "What wouldn't they say that?" I mean, if that's what they were trying to say, wouldn't they just say, "Look, it's not coming there, bro"? Like, you know what I mean? That's
Exactly. Why wouldn't they just say that? If it's not going to be if it's not going to be supported, why wouldn't they just say that it's not going to be supported? And I would also point out too, Roots, the context of this article, this isn't a Sony spokesperson coming out and making statements about the future of VR. Sony spokesperson being asked by journalists, well, what about Hitman 3? What about No Man's Sky? Isn't this proof that PS5 is going to work with PSVR? And their whole response is, we haven't announced PS5 games for PSVR.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe the way that Upload is taking it turns out to be correct. But I would point out that that's not what was said here. And in both of these instances, the context is what does Sony say when pressed, and they have to answer, you know, because Sony really hasn't said anything about what they're going to do with VR and PlayStation 5. And I would submit if the future was as bleak as people make it out to be, then why wouldn't Sony just tell PSVR players to just play it on their PS4 Pro? I mean, what's the point of going through all the trouble of developing a special camera adapter, mailing them out for free at the cost of millions of dollars to bring PSVR players into PS5? What's the point if literally the machine is just going to act like a PS4 Pro? If there's no benefit to the gamer and Sony has no plans on supporting the headset any further than backward compatibility, then why are they spending all of these millions of dollars to bring us along with them?
Yeah. That doesn't make sense, right? You might as well
Not
just,
to me.
yeah, I agree. Especially if there's no future. So,
Right. And as far as, these people that are saying that there's no benefit to playing VR, even through backwards compatibility, because it's not going to be any better than a PS4 Pro. Look, just because the machine is going to run the backwards compatibility as if it were a PlayStation VR Pro doesn't mean there will be no benefit. Anybody who plays VR games on PS4 Pro knows that most of the titles have scaling performance. So you'll go in one day, No Man's Sky is a great example for this. You'll go in one day and it won't look so bad. It actually looks pretty good. Everything's fairly clear. But you'll go in the next day after playing something else for a couple of hours when the thing's hot, when the thing's being taxed, and all of a sudden the foveated rendering's kicking in really heavy. Everything's shimmery and the aliasing's really bad. The PlayStation 4 Pro scales its performance to its overhead. So just knowing that alone, you can see where there's going to be at least some benefit to playing it on a more powerful machine, because that scaling performance is constantly going to be maxed out. So like automatically, even if it were to downclock to PS4 Pro levels, it's still going to be like 100% of the time at PS4 Pro's best. Whereas like PS4 Pro is going to be varying up and down, right? Which I don't even think that's the case. I think that when this thing boosts uh, in these games, obviously the frame rate's going to be locked in a lot of them. You're not going to see really any gains in frame rate. But the other things, the aliasing, the foveated rendering, all of this stuff is going to be at its best all the time on the PlayStation 5. And people are failing to recognize that. And I think it's a lot to do about nothing this week, Roots. I think people are panicking because Sony is doing what they've always done over the last year anyway, and that is trying to not say anything intentionally.
yeah, what about load times? You know, all of a
Oh,
sudden, you
yeah.
know, just because it's they're backwards compatible, they're not going to take advantage of the hard or the load times of the drives. I don't even think they could stop it from loading as fast. And why would you? Right? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why they would intentionally limit it to not work as well as it could. Like that makes absolutely no sense. Obviously, we're going to see a big increase in load times. It's going to work. The machine's going to think that it's a PlayStation 4 Pro, but it's going to be like literally like you took your PlayStation 4 Pro, ripped the hard drive out, put an SSD in, ripped the CPU and the GPU out, and put a 5 years newer one in it. Then that PlayStation 4 Pro is what you're going to get with the PlayStation 5. And what I've just described to you, I think is the baseline. This is at least what we're going to get out of PS5. What more will we get? Maybe nothing, maybe a lot. My whole thing is judging from their own words and from the context of each conversation. We really don't know yet, and really we're in no different, better or worse a spot than we were in a week ago. But I do take comfort in the fact that Sony has reaffirmed their commitment to VR. They've said that they believe in VR. And again, the fact that they're spending millions of dollars to create this, this new piece of hardware to bring the PSVR community along with everyone else into the PlayStation 5. I don't think that they would do that for nothing. I think that there absolutely is a plan here. Now, whether that plan be to release PS5 exclusives for PlayStation VR or to release PSVR 2 sooner rather than later, I don't know. But I think that it's pretty obvious here that the only thing we know is that they are trying to bring us along.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And Gamer Chick had a good point. It said she was saying that could be due to COVID, and we've said this before, just supplies, supply, being able to get the stuff that for PlayStation VR 2 has been difficult, and so it's pushed everything back. I mean, everything, the whole timeline, right? So I would say that that's probably a very real possibility as well. So
Yeah. There's definitely a future for VR and PlayStation 5, and I don't have any hardcore evidence. I would think it is pretty telling right now that Gamer Chick 13 says that she agrees with me, and I'll leave it at that. I will say this: a couple of months ago, I asked one of our developer friends, someone who works at a VR exclusive studio. This studio only makes VR games, right? Uh, and I'm not talking about Skydance. So, guys, leave her alone. It's not her. I asked someone else who would know if they have a PlayStation 5 development kit. Because if they have one, it's to work on VR, right? If they have one, the only thing that they could be using it for is to work on VR for PlayStation 5. The answer that I got wasn't no. It was I can't talk about PlayStation 5.
yeah, well,
So in that non-answer, I was told everything that I needed to know. If they didn't have one, he would say no,
right.
right? Well,
We've
we
had
don't have PlayStation 5. Instead, he said I can't talk about it, which means that they do have one. And obviously, if they have one, they're working on something for it, right?
Yeah, we've had to sign
So,
enough agreements to know when you can't talk about something. You just can't even talk about it. Like, I just can't talk about it. That means that you're not allowed to. And I believe that you're right. I think that answer told you everything you need to know, and it tells everything. We should just run a headline right now. PlayStation VR is not dead. That's probably not a. I just think there's a lot of knee jerk reaction, just like everything. It's
like
just
always, right? Like just like always.
yep, yep.
Look, I'm not telling people what to believe. You can read into it as you wish. I would suggest, though, anybody who's really concerned about it, read the actual quotes instead of the headlines. Think about what's actually being said, and then make your own mind up on what to do. As for me, I'm keeping my pre-order. I'm not flipping my PS5 for extra money, and I wouldn't be surprised that uh, within a quarter, like 3 or 4 months after PlayStation 5 is out there, after the launch window has closed, that we start to hear a little bit about what Sony's plans are for VR on PlayStation 5. Obviously, they're not going to abandon us. They could do that a lot less expensively, just by telling us to get a pro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, Roots, that's my rant for the week. I guess it's my counter my counter rant to the Ranthony rant that PS4's dead, bro. Can't you all see it?
Yeah. No, well, like I said, I like both rants. I like Anthony's rants and I like Wes's rants. Sounds good.
Paradise the case says I don't think any PSVR until 2022. That's possible, but let me ask you, PD, do you think that there's no new blockbuster PSVR games for 2 years? Because that's how people are acting. They're acting like literally there's going to be no support for PSVR anymore.
Yeah, that's weird to me, especially since Sony just came out and said they believe in PSVR. You know what I mean? Like they didn't come out and say, we're done. You know, like why
Yeah.
would they say we believe in it, and then not put games out?
I think it's telling that he started his statement off with that because I think that they see the passion of our community, right? And more people are pressuring them to make a statement on it. And they obviously know what they're going to say and when. And they're going to stick to their guns. It doesn't matter how hard that we press them. They're not going to announce what they have to announce until they're ready. And that might be in a month from now. That might be 6 months from now. It might be 2 years from now. I don't think so, but it could be. But we're not going to force them into giving us information before they're ready. They didn't do it for PS5. They're not going to do it for whatever's next for VR on PlayStation. Um, Again, there's enough evidence out there that PSVR's future is bright. That a few misinterpreted quotes shouldn't have everybody freaking out so hard. And again, I completely agree with everything that Brian Paul and PSVR Without Parole said. They did 2 great videos on this week. I would encourage anyone who's interested in the subject to go over to their channel, watch those videos. I concur 100% with their take on it.
Cool.
Anyway, let's get away from PSVR roots. Let's talk about something that we actually talked about a couple times in recent weeks. We got a little more information about Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. And ILMX Lab has given us another look at a standalone story in the Tales from the Galaxy's Edge that focuses on the exploits of none other than Master Yoda himself. The Temple of Darkness is an interactive VR short that features Yoda and takes place during the High Republic era, which is hundreds of years before Star Wars The Phantom Menace. In Temple of Darkness, players will step into the shoes of Adi Sunzi, a Jedi Padawan studying at a remote Jedi research facility on Batuu. The sole survivor, after a mysterious relic unleashes a torrent of evil, she must work alongside Jedi Master Yoda to confront the darkness that now lurks within the temple walls and within herself. So, Roots, some interesting things that we can take note of, not only in these words, but in this trailer. First of all, this thing looks cool, don't it? It looks like it's taking a dark turn, this specific story.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I didn't like the fact that it says it's short. That made me a little worried. But I guess if there's a whole bunch of different things, you know, but the first thing we're gonna get is not gonna be that long, Wes. It sounds like anyway.
Yeah, well, the way of that was the very next thing I was going to get to, Roots, is the fact that they described this episode as quote an interactive VR short, and I think that what that tells us is that most of the content that we're going to get for this thing is going to be it's going to be like Vader Immortal, which in some people will say that that's terrible. I for one don't think that that's such a bad thing. I would like a little more interactivity in it, which we may get, we may not. But we're not going to get any long you know, epic link campaigns from this, but rather we're going to get an ongoing, probably for years ongoing, group of short interactive experiences. My question is, how much content is this thing going to release with? Because it's like what, $30 for this thing, 25 or $30. I got to imagine that we're going to get more with it than just this one short interactive experience.
Yeah, we better. Even if it's a promise for more, it's not good enough for me. I want something more than just one interactive short Yoda thing. But you know, it sounds. I believe you will. I mean, if you think about it, the whole thing is this bartender, right? You come up to the bar and he's telling a bunch of tales. Like, how would you really feel that unless he's got at least more than one tale? I need to hear. I need to go up there and hear multiple. You know, like I believe there'll be at least three, but that's just my gut feeling. Hopefully more, but I don't think that it would just be this. That would be very odd, especially for that amount of money. unless they
Well,
promise down the road to unleash a whole bunch of different ones.
well, here's another possibility here too, Roots. The one major way that this game does differ from Vader Immortal is that this isn't just the story. You're in an overworld. Like, this is a game within a game. These short stories are games within the game. So the story isn't everything here. There's content outside of the episodes where you're in this cantina, you're on this world Batu. There's a lot of exploring, a lot of I got to imagine side quests or what have you. A lot of things that you can do just by traversing the overworld here and interacting with it. So there it may be that there's 2 or 3 hours in their estimation of content outside of the short stories, and that might be behind the price as well.
That's true. Who knows what the hell's going on in this game? I just think it's kind of cool. I want to check it out. Sorry for you non-questicles, you Quest 2 people that don't have them, at least, or one, Quest 1 right now, you won't be able to play it, right? It's going to be exclusive and exciting news. I think I'm finally seeping into Jim Holland. He's almost ready to buy his Quest 2. He's debating. And but I think that's more just about how good the Quest 2 is, and he's just starting to feel like, I want to try it. I think you should, Jim.
Well, I would point out that most major retailers in the United States right now have extended return windows. So anything you buy right now from most of these places, you're going to have until early to mid January to return it. So you can find out. You can find out if it's for you or not for you. I would just suggest that anyone should, because it's an amazing device.
Yeah, and you know what I think's really the turner is the index controllers in Population 1 are kind of wonky, and then he's having issues with his Rift S doing weird stuff, and so like the only other option that would make sense is one of the best Oculus headsets out there. It's that Facebook issue that holds people back. So
Yeah, well, we've kind of talked that one to death. If it's a deal breaker for you, then it's a deal breaker for you.
yeah,
But for me, I mean, I gave it the clicks, and I haven't thought about it that much since, and other than when we're doing a show,
yeah,
like it hasn't impacted my life in the least, and I really don't expect it to
I don't
impact
either.
my life anyway.
Yeah, it's impacted my life in a good way because I see so much clearer now, Wes, when I'm in VR. So
I could see clearly
yeah.
now. The rings are gone.
That's what I told
the
somebody on
rays,
Reddit.
the
That's what I
rays
told.
are gone, right?
No, that's what I told somebody on Reddit as they were trying to decide. Should I buy a very new used Rift S for 230, or the Quest 2, or I don't know what the third option was. I think it was a Cosmos.
The answer is
Ironically,
Quest 2.
well,
Like, it's Quest 2 for all of these questions now. Like, I don't see a better value in VR anymore.
I don't either. Well, I told the guy, I said Quest 2, and he's like, he got all offended. Why do you think this is better? I said, dude, I went back to my Rift S after playing Quest 2 for a while, and the screen door effect alone was like, no. And then he was not aware that it's a better screen in there, or you know what I mean, display. So, but he ended up saying at the end of the conversation that is the way he's going. He's getting Quest 2, and I helped bring him along, so I feel good.
Yeah, me too. I demoed to my sister's boyfriend the other day, Robo Recall in the Quest, just standalone unplugged Robo Recall, and it just blown away by it.
Yeah, that's so good, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, even like I don't know if they've updated it for Quest 2 yet or not. But it looked good, man. Like, it looked better than I remember it looking. Like, I remember Robo Recall on Quest 1 looking a little bit stripped down and bare bones. It doesn't look like that anymore, and I don't know if they've updated it before Quest 2 or if they've updated it after Quest 2, but it looks pretty good now, man.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I was glad it was one of my free games in my library.
Yeah, how awesome is that? Like, it's a cross-buy title that they gave you for free in the
I
in the first
know.
place.
That's crazy. There's so many games like that. It's cool.
Anyway, Speaking of Jim Hall, I think Jim Hall's going to be very interested in this next segment, Rich. What do you think?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we were discussing him going to get one before the show, and he was the Quest 2, and he said, "I don't won't make it back in time. I don't want to miss the Tetris Effect segment." So it's funny you say that because he literally said that to me that this was the segment he wanted to be a part of. So,
Well, as many people out there already know, Tetris Effect is the greatest game of all time, according to our channel. Well, according to Jim Hall, according to our channel. No, Tetris Effect is amazing, and we recently learned this last summer that it's about to be a lot more amazing because they have announced Tetris Effect Connected, and what Tetris Effect Connected is, Roots. It's a multiplayer expansion to Tetris Effect. And we learned last summer that this was actually going to launch as an Xbox exclusive, flat, and then all of the VR platforms are going to gain access to these updates next summer. So what it looks like, Roots, it looks like a 6 month exclusivity window, and then everybody else gets these new modes. And just this past week, Enhanced Games and the Tetris Company unveiled the details of the different multiplayer modes that you can experience in Tetris Effect Connected.
oh wow. Well, let me know about it in 6 months when I can try it. No, just kidding. That's kind of a bummer. I guess that's cool, but who's getting an Xbox, man? What a waste. Like, yeah, we're gonna give an exclusive, and I just nobody's gonna. I don't think that many people are interested in Xbox, man. I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, and one of the cool things about the Jim Ryan interview I watched the other day is he did kind of take shots, some little veiled passive aggressive shots at Microsoft, saying that they don't that these guys. He didn't name Microsoft, but he's talking about these other guys, how they don't have to go on these frenzied buying sprees to try to keep up, which is funny because that's exactly what they're doing, right? They're buying up all these studios, buying Bethesda, buying Hellblade, Tetris Effect exclusivity. Uh, I guess Sony kind of looks at this as, you know, panic on the other side, and I can see why they would think that.
Well, it is panic because their consoles same old, and the Sony's is innovation, and I don't know why anybody outside of if you're a Halo person, I get it. Like you're always going to be Xbox, bro. Other than that, I just don't
Now,
see
here's the
it.
thing, though. Here's the thing, and I don't want to do this whole segment again. We've done this 100 times, but even if you're a Halo person, you can play it on the last Xbox.
Oh yeah,
You can play it on the PC. There's no reason to buy an Xbox because you can play everything that they release for it on the older Xbox or on PC. So why buy a new one?
yeah. Well, dude, let me tell you about Hellblade as a totally different thing. I went back into this the other day, and like it was amazing. I got past that puzzle, and I was badass, Wes. I was like, I got to some fighting, and I was doing things. I was like, oh my god, I didn't know that there was this cool of fighting in here, and I was slashing and trashing people, and I couldn't believe how good that game is, and I think I'm gonna play through it finally, to the end.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's a great game. It really is. The once you get good at the parry and block and can integrate that into your combinations, your offensive combinations, and then you've got like that bullet time effect, right? That you slow time down and you can really move around the enemy.
Yeah,
It's an amazing thing, and the particle effects and the 3D is just insane in that game.
absolutely. And that's one of the best things about VR is when you have the particles and the 3D effect popping. Is just like nothing else you can do on a flat screen.
Did you make it to the Wall Robin boss fight? That's the stage that you were in, was the Wall Robin stage.
Was that the one where you can't die? I mean, where you can't live? Like, I got to a part where I was killing all these things. I kept fighting and killing everything, and I lasted so much longer than I should have, I believe, because it was the begin where you die at first, I guess, and then your arm rots off or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's the Crossroads. That's actually If that's where you're at, dude, you've got the whole game in front of you.
I think
You
that's
have
where
so
I'm
much
at,
cool
bro.
shit coming. Yeah,
I'm at,
that's the crossroads. That's where the game starts.
yeah. Well, that's how Roots rolls, man. But yeah,
Well, I
no,
mean, you've got a good hour and a half under your belt, but the game gets so much better from there. Is what I'm trying to say, and
nice.
you're in for a treat.
Yeah, I think Population One is unlocking something in me. I was telling Jim earlier, I'm getting more confident. Even in this game, Hellblade, I want to run in there and start slashing people. No more hanging back for Roots.
Anyway, let's talk a little bit about these modes since Jim Hall has joined us in the chat here. Um, First mode we have is called Connected Mode, which is a co-op mode where three players are able to team up and connect their matrix playfields in an effort to beat the AI controlled bosses. These bosses have their own particular attacks called blitzes, which have an array of effects from removing the hold piece to halting rotation, even adding blocks which need to be cleared twice. And then there's also a variation of this mode Roots, Connected Versus, where a fourth player takes the place of the AI
Ooh,
boss, and it's 3-on-1.
that sounds cool, right?
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
absolutely awesome. But uh, it's this next one that really, I think it's the next one on the list here that I think is, actually, no, it's the two from now. Anyway, the next one's called Zone Battle, which is a player versus player match using standard Tetris rules. But there's a twist. The time stopping zone mechanic, which Tetris Effect single player introduced, that means that a player can activate that zone, and then they'll have a chance to build up to 22 lines before they get sent to the opponent. So you know how, like on Tetris Effect, they introduced this new zone thing. After you build your meter up, you can kind of freeze time, and instead of getting a Tetris maximum of 4 lines, you can literally fill the screen with lines before time in, and it clears. And basically, how the score attacks or the zone battle is going to work is you're going to be able to use that to your advantage because everything you clear then gets sent over to your competition to have to contend with. So it's an interesting idea, and I'm interested to see how it plays out practically.
Yeah, it sounds very confusing to me. It'll be, I guess, once I get into it, it won't be so confusing to me. But um, I don't know. That sounds pretty cool.
And then we have score attack, where two players compete separately to see who can get the best score. This is what most of us thought about when we thought, competitive Tetris, right? This is kind of the thing that they do in tournaments and stuff for many years now, is just head to head who gets the best score. But a variation of this mode comes in the form of classic score attack, which rolls the aesthetics and the gameplay back 30 years. Paying homage to Pro Tetris competitions, the mode removes the hard drop and the hold cue abilities. Tetrominoes lock down immediately when they touch a surface, and tetrominoes generate randomly. So basically, Roots, they have the classic score attack, which lets you play Tetris Effect head to head with someone in game, which is cool. That's awesome. But if you're a classic Tetris player, someone who really loves old school Tetris, you can convert it to literally old school Tetris so that all the blocks are random. There's no more hard drops. You can't just roll your tetromino for like 10 seconds after it hits the ground. Like when it hits, it's locked in place. So literally, you can play old Tetris on it now, head to head with your friends. Now, I think that is particularly awesome.
Yeah, there is something about the new school cheating of flipping your thing a million times, just keep hitting it, and you're like, oh, I got to get it in there. That didn't happen before, man. Once it hit, it was hit. And that's what all these experts, the really, really good people at this game, were really good at, right? I don't know. That's kind of cool. I think it is cool that you would be able to just go to head, old school style, right?
Yeah, it's going to draw a lot of new players in because I got to imagine that a lot of these old school Tetris guys that they've seen so many iterations of new Tetris games that they're just not interested in it. They want their classic. Well, now they can play their classic, but they can play it head to head in the game. And if any of them happens to put the headset on and give it a look that way, yeah, you already know, right? They're going to be blown away.
I don't know why anybody would not want to play the new way. To me is so cool, and I've said it before a million times. It's just so artistic the way everything's brought together, the haptics, the music, the gameplay. Just watching this video made me realize I haven't tried it yet in the new headset, and I this is one of the games, Wes, that I keep struggling not buying standalone because I know I'm going to take it over somebody's house and I want to show it to them. And I love it so much that I might want to play it somewhere else that's not um, home. So I guess I'm kind of waiting for. They said that they're getting ready to do the new patch for it pretty soon, right? Thought that's what I read for it for the Quest 2
Tetris
update.
Effect.
Yeah, the Quest 2 update. It's not quite updated yet, or maybe somebody was
Oh, I
commenting and saying that they were waiting for it, and I was reading the comments or something. But I'm waiting for it.
yeah, yeah. I'm not sure if they've enhance this thing or not. I haven't read anything about that. People may have literally been talking about this update that we're actually talking about. Maybe they're confusing that. Maybe I just haven't kept up with it as well as I should. But my phone is going off somewhere across the room. I'm gonna have to go grab that right quick. So bear with me just a moment, please.
No, it's all good. I don't know. Like I said, this is just one of those games that I want to go back to. Actually, I might go back into it today just because visually it's just so good. And I don't know. I feel like I've been letting myself down by not checking it out in the headset yet. But that's the beauty of having as much time as we do. And I might even stream some of it because I think it would be interesting
Yeah,
for people to watch me play. Because Roots is a Tetris master. Well, I'm not a Tetris master, but I do pretty good.
yeah, and it's not just the visuals, it's everything, right? It's the integration of sight, sound, and haptics all into one beautiful artistic experience. And Rich, who would have thought that something as cold and mathematic as a puzzle game like Tetris would go on to be one of the most beautiful artistic experiences in VR? It's kind of nuts.
I know. And now I get to bring along my friends and we can fight an evil AI boss, or I can fight one of my evil AI taking over people, friends. I think that's one of the coolest aspects, Wes. I mean, the AI boss is awesome, but the fact that I can play somebody, or I could be the boss, you know what I mean, and have three people attacking me. Maybe I'm so good. That's the only way I could play with you, bro. Is I have to have three people against me. Now I'm not that good, but I'm sure there's people out there like that, right?
Yeah, 3 on 1. Yeah, I mean, I guess that would. I watched a video. We were just talking about these classic Tetris guys coming into the new Tetris Effect. I watched a video when Tetris Effect launched of like an old Tetris champion, like a popular, one of the most well-known Tetris players in the world, coming into VR. Actually, they didn't even. That wasn't even the intent. It wasn't even to bring him into VR. They let him play Tetris Effect flat. And then the guy asked, "Well, are we going to try the VR?" He'd never played VR before. So here's the Tetris guy. His first experience in VR was um,
Wow.
was Tetris Effect, and the guy just like he got better in VR than I mean he was killing it flat, right? But when he got in VR, he zoned into it, like how you do, right? And like it was the first person I ever had seen that did the full screen in zone mode. Like he went into zone. Literally, the first time he ever played the game, he went into the zone mode and filled the screen full and cleared it. And
Wow.
it's
Did he have
awesome.
an emotional reaction? Because I would imagine that would be Anthony's Beat Saber tear moment. You know, like if this Tetris was your life and your first experience was in VR was Tetris and it was this experience, I'd be in awe. Be like, what is going on, man? This is so cool. The particles, everything, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, it literally even the standalone version on Quest One was amazing. So yeah, you're right. I haven't went into this on PC yet either, and I really need to because you can really jack the settings on PC. Like you can make it so that your screen is full of particles and the resolution scale is super high. And I've got this damn graphics card here, Roots. I can totally leverage and make Tetris Effect something amazing.
I think you're going to. I think it's happening, man.
Confirmed, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, a lot of awesome things happened in VR this year, Roots. A lot of awesome games have come. So many, in fact, that games come and go, and we tend to forget just how cool they are until something else happens that reminds us. Oh yeah, that game was awesome. And one such game was Yupitergrad, which I would call one of the surprise releases of 2020 from a very small studio, Game Dust. This game actually turned out to be, at least in my opinion, one of my favorites of the year. And luckily, Roots, Game Dust this past week revealed new updates that are on the way to Yupitergrad, as well as support for more platforms. Roots, we said it at the time that there is absolutely no good reason why this game shouldn't be on Oculus Quest, and that it actually would probably be better on Oculus Quest due to the fact that there's no tether and you're able to turn freely instead of using the rotation as you grapple from platform to platform.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, just watching this video when I was pulling it, because I didn't have it for some reason. I don't know why, but I was thinking, man, I need to go back into this game and play it again wireless with virtual desktop, right? Um,
I'm sorry. Derail says it's why I bought my 3090 was to play Tetris.
well, yeah, I mean, it sounds bizarre, right? If with all those particles, you could really crank it up there, Derail. I'm telling you, man.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, even this game would benefit from your 3090. But no, this is a game that I want to go back into and play. I enjoyed my playthrough. The it's so much fun that it feels good to play it. And I think it would benefit from my wireless virtual desktop. And I'm always looking for games to play wirelessly because I enjoy it so much. And this would be one of them.
Yeah, it makes you feel good, Roots. The developer was very receptive to our coverage of the game. Came into our Discord, took direct feedback from our community, and what we told him, Roots, we told him two things. We told him Oculus Quest, PlayStation VR, and multiplayer.
Which we
So
always
here
say.
we have the first the yeah, it's what we say to everybody, right? And here we have the first rumored content update, and literally the things that are coming is PlayStation VR, Oculus Quest, and a new game mode. It's called Time Attack, and the new Time Attack is going to be a collection of maps that you race through, a la like challenge mode in Farpoint. Some of the maps will probably be derived from existing maps. Some of them may be new, but there's support for online leaderboards, so you're going to actually get a time score, and it's going to be compared against the people on your friends list. Not perfect one to one, it's not technically multiplayer, but it's something that allows you to play this game with your friends in a roundabout way, I guess I should say.
Well, and especially with the Facebook Connect now, I don't know if people know, since if once you get your connection to Facebook's accounts, you start getting notifications that says, "Hey, Derail just passed you on such and such game." Basically, I read it as, "Hey, just got fucked over. Somebody just passed you, and you need to go back in there and beat them." And then I feel like I need to go back in there and beat them, right? I can't let Derail
It's
pass me.
Oculus is so clueless with this stuff, man. Like it constantly gives me messages about people beating my scores on Beat Saber, which I've played twice in my life. Like I could care less. And then it'll tell me like, Drillo just passed your score on Pistol Whip of this level that you never played ever. Like, okay, thanks.
Well, Pistol Whip, they want to get you back in there. It's the best game. It's way better than Audica, bro. That's what I heard from somebody in a lobby last night of Population 1. And me and Radio Runt,
I would agree with that.
we railed this guy. We railed him. I disagree with that
That
wholeheartedly.
I know you
Huh.
do, but a Pistol Whip, one of my favorite. If it didn't hurt me so bad, I'd play it more.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I just, the skins were all the same. That was my thing. or not the skins,
Oh,
but the levels, right? With different skins over them. It's like this now that they're changing things, maybe it'll be different, but
absolutely, be different. But that is another story for another day. Today we're talking about Yupitergrad. Um, already available Roots, 5-port, Oculus Store, and Steam. The updates I think are already active on 5-port. There was at least some kind of update that just went up on it. I noticed. I didn't read the details. I got to imagine it has to be this, right?
yeah. Yeah, well, it's definitely worth playing through, especially if you can play it on 5-port Infinity. I don't know why you haven't played it already.
Let me ask you this, Roots: is it worth buying a second mode to get this as a standalone game?
You mean if they don't do? I guess because I have it on Steam. You're right. I think it would be. I mean, it depends. Well, how much was it? It was like $20. It wasn't that
No,
expensive.
dude, it was $15.
Yeah, I think I would probably buy it again, just to because it's cool to take over and people. I think people would enjoy it. I don't know. Would everybody be able to play this game? That's the question. Do you think people would get sick? I don't remember if it's intensive for people or not. So
Yeah, I mean, it is a possibility if people are sensitive to like motion sickness. Uh, this game could, make some people turn some stomachs. But with that said, I think for me, it's worth having. I mean, at that low of a price, and it's such a good game, uh, I would want to have it as a standalone for myself.
yeah, yeah, it's not that much. It's a sweet spot, right? 10, $15. I start to question things. I'm like, yeah, maybe I should own it. Um, so
It's actually on sale on the Oculus Store right now. It's one of the items on today's free stuff and killer deals. You can get this for like 12 or $13 on the Rift Store right now.
is it guaranteed cross buy?
I don't know, but I know how we can find out.
Yeah, if it was guaranteed cross buy, I might just pick that up because if it's definitely coming to Quest eventually.
D-Real says it's 12.74, and I would highly suggest anyone who doesn't have it to buy it right now for 12.74.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of D-Rail, D-Rail plays a lot of flat games, Roots. Well, a lot, not a lot, but he plays some flat games. There are certain franchises that over the years he's put more time into than others. One of the games that he's played a lot of, or at least one of the franchises, is Warhammer. And I think Warhammer is an interesting franchise, Roots, because I've literally never played a Warhammer game, but one of the hallmarks of that, from what I can tell of these games, is that there are literally hundreds of them. Like there are so many Warhammer games, and I think it's official, Roots, that Warhammer has come to VR because just months after the Warhammer 50K Battle Sisters game is announced. Now we have the announcement of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Tempestfall. But this one, Roots, is being brought to us by a completely different studio, Carbon Studio,
Mm.
who are the developers behind the Wizard's Dark Times. And again, this is another made for VR game in the Warhammer universe. Uh, and let's see here. I got a description of it. It says, "Become a mighty Lord Arcanum, wielder of storm magic, and lead a Stormcast Eternal task force to recover your brethren's lost souls. Walk the lands of Shyish and battle the forces of Nighthaunt using a variety of melee weapons, powerful staves, and motion-based abilities and magic." Roots, looking at this thing and their description of the gameplay, this looks an awful lot like the Wizard's Dark Times with melee weapons.
Yeah, it does actually, and I mean I like the Wizards Dark Times, but
Me too.
yeah, so I think it should be pretty good. Bitey says it's because the Warhammer lore is so damn good, so that's why there's so many games out there. I've never played one as well. I've played World of Warcraft. It has war in there. It's not quite the same. So
Yeah, so I think this is good, right? Especially if these turn out to be good games. I at least expect the this one to be good. I'm not so sure about the Battle Sisters one. Apparently, it's a little rough looking in early access, but then again, it is an early access demo. They certainly could polish it up. But the idea of playing the Wizard's Dark Times in this Warhammer universe, in the lore, as Body would call it, with more melee fighting. That sounds like good fun to me. And just by judging by the trailer, it's going to be a beautiful game as well.
Yeah, it looks really good. Now it says 2021. Did they say, is that did they give any specificity as far as that's early, second, third, fourth quarter? Probably not.
None whatsoever. Just all we know is it's coming next year, which makes sense with Warhammer 50K Battle Sisters set to launch by the end of this year.
Wouldn't it be funny if the other one, the first one delayed, this one came out first, just nailed it, and then the second one came out and was mediocre? Be kind of like The Walking Dead all over again, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think that they're both going to be pretty good, to be honest. From what I could tell, I think that the first one's going to be a bit more arcade style, which is probably going to cause a lot of people to not like it. But I like arcade style games, so especially arcade shooters in VR. Hell yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, if they're done right, absolutely.
And then Carbon Studio doing this one, I mean, that's like a no-brainer. That's quickly becoming one of the best, VR studios in the world. Carbon Studio certainly moving up the list quickly. The Wizard's Dark Times was a beautiful game, and it was fun to play as well.
I need to get back into there. I haven't played it since it came out, so.
Yeah, I don't think you got to the point where you had your moment with that big ogre, did you?
I don't remember. Probably not. I need to go meet him now.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff that it's not not a big huge part of the game, but it's certainly cool. Some stuff that you do when you get to that ogre's home.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, as Root said, Warhammer Age of Sigmar Tempestfall set to launch on PCVR and Oculus Quest sometime in 2021. Does that concern you at all, Roots, that this is going to be a Quest title? I guess I already know the answer to this.
No, I don't buy into all that, man. One of the best games I've been playing this year is a Quest title in Population 1. So, I'm more concerned with gameplay, and I've seen simplistic games look amazing. I just want the good gameplay and the games to look really good. I don't care about, how many times do we have to go into a game and go, ooh, this looks, it looks very beautiful, and the gameplay loop is very shallow and boring. I don't get it. Graphics
Like
are important.
Rogan, a thief in the castle.
Exactly. It's exactly it. You can go into the game can look so amazing, but it needs to have that appeal. It needs to be fun, Wes. Like I maybe I'm all in a completely different place than everybody in the world, but I want my game to be fun, right?
Yeah, that generally tends to help if the game's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Gamer Chick says I need to clone myself at least 4 times. I have so many games out there that I need to get back into, and that's the real problem, right, Wes? Especially when I'm spending 9 hours in Population 1. I'm not getting into any of those other games. So.
You don't realize that this is literally every conversation we ever have about VR is like, you remember that game? Oh yeah, I need to play it. You remember this game? Yeah, I need to go play it. Like literally, it's why we started the backlog report on the Monday show, is because there's so many games in our backlog that like we have to have an excuse to make ourselves go back and start trying to work through it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The problem is, Roots, is that even when we go back to them, we don't finish them, so we don't really check them off of the list.
A couple times. I did that with Trover. I knocked it off the list really hard, and now I almost want to buy it again for my Quest 2. That's another good game to showcase to people.
Absolutely, especially people who like filthy, potty mouth humor.
Yeah.
Brandon135 says, if a game looks good enough, I'm fine with it being boring as long as I'm in a cool place to be and feel present. Well, that's certainly
it's a walking sim.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's certainly a cool aspect of VR, right? Is that even if a game's not fun, if you buy a game and it turns out to be not very fun, you still get the experience of going somewhere, to being on another world or in another place and time. It's literally something that is unique to VR that no other platform in gaming can claim. And I would agree with him to some extent. That
Yeah. I would agree with him if I went back in time to when I first got into VR. And of course, 2018, there wasn't as many good games out, but it didn't matter what it is. You know, I'd be like, oh, this is amazing. And I'd try to show my son or whatever. And he was the one that opened my eyes. And he would just say, you know, just because it's in VR doesn't mean it's good or better or should be in VR. Not every game should be in VR. I know people are like, oh my God, Roots, I got to unsub. Um, Sometimes games are amazing flat, and sometimes games would be better flat because the depth isn't there, and it takes a lot more to get that depth in VR. A lot of studios are getting it. You know, Skydance is getting it, has got it. You know, as far as creating that loop, Population One. There's a lot of good developers out there that really keep you invested in the game the entire time you're playing, and that's what I'm talking about. In that loop, I'm talking about is like that feeling like you're drawn back in, you know, like you're drawn back in more than just the story. The gameplay draws you back in as well. It's hard to get that really good across the board feel for people. It's rare in VR right now. You know, Alex does it as well. It's just there's only a few handfuls of games that I can think of that have it all together. Most of them have bits and pieces, and they're missing a component or two, right?
Yeah, I'm actually thinking of trying out this Watch Dogs Legion that just came out because I got a copy of it. It came with my graphics card, right?
Ooh.
And it's supposedly the reason why they're giving this game to people is because you know, it showcases all the bells and whistles. Like it's got like the new VRSS that's supported. It supports the new ray tracing, all the new NVIDIA bells and whistles on
Hmm.
full display in this game. Here's the problem, Roots. My only 4K panel is in the living room. It's a
Mm.
55-inch deal. It's a big TV. It's too big to bring in here. And then my computer is this Corsair Crystal 570X. It's a all tempered glass, you know, giant monster of a computer. It's heavy as hell, dude. It's big. Like you could shoot it with a shotgun and it wouldn't phase it. Uh, it's a big modern marvel of a computer. So I have this dilemma. If I want to play this game, I either have to like bring that TV in here and set it in the floor, or I have to carry this heavy ass computer in there
Mm.
and I don't know. It makes it tough. I think I just have to buy another TV. Is probably what's going to happen.
I think so. It's funny that you say that because if you play that, I'll probably play it with you because I've Derail sent me a trailer and I was watching the different things you could do, and then I saw he was playing it and I was thinking, maybe I almost picked it up the other day, and I thought, well, if I wait a week or two, the way things go, it may be on sale already. I
You
don't
might
know.
be able to catch a code actually because they don't just give you the game; they give you this code. But if I'm not mistaken, though, you have to have the card installed on
I
your
think,
machine to.
yeah, I think you do.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Never mind. Oopsies. Rendered Reality joining the chat. What's up, guys? We're just about to talk about a little Tainted Fate. Roots, this game cracks me up. Just the title of it. Well, actually, everything about this game cracks me up. This is one of those examples of a game where we really need the sound in the trailer. Did you watch this with the sound turned on?
I did not actually. I is it pretty bizarre?
It is. I would suggest that anyone after the show today go check out Tainted Fate trailer with the sound turned up. Make sure no children are around. It's pretty funny.
It looks pretty cool. It looks really bizarre. The gameplay already, and the fact that you can just dismember people by ripping their arms off. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the whole thing here. This is a game from Delta Reality and Misfit Village, and they've just released this game out of early access just in time for Halloween. This is a story driven slasher horror game where you play as a demon summoned from the depths of hell into our world. You possess demonic abilities, allowing you to gruesomely take down everything between you and your path back to the underworld. This means ripping apart limbs of enemies, spawning minions to take the heat off of you, or spawn critters that blow up on contact. So, Roots, this is basically obviously this is an indie game and it's a little rough around the edges. And point out to people that this trailer that we're looking at is actually 2 years old. This is the early access trailer. The game's been updated a whole lot since this, but it looks cool, man. Um, it looks like high, fast-paced action, almost kind of like I don't know, the old school shooter games, but you're not shooting stuff. Uh, it's that same kind of fast-paced environment, chaos, and just like the games of old that I'm referring to, big epic boss battles await as well.
Yeah, looks pretty crazy. Yeah, it's pretty crazy that it's been 2 years advanced from this video, so who knows what the hell it looks like by now.
Yeah, it's had many content updates since launching into early access. First of all, there's an arena mode that brought in, of course, the new mode as well as online leaderboards. There are more puzzles and collectibles that were added in the Puzzles Galore update. And then in Halloween last year, they added more blood, better dismemberment, a new boss fight, new environments, new shaders, new levels. And even since then, they've overhauled the audio, added more enemies, more achievements, and Roots, they have now dropped the price to $10 so that they
Ooh,
can get some people in there.
wow, $10. That's a good deal for sure, man.
Even better deal right now because it's in the Steam Halloween sale at a 10% discount. So it's actually like $8 or $9 right now, or $9.
Wow, you said it's early access, right? So I mean, obviously they're still working on it as well. So
No, no, no. They just released. They just came out of early
I
access.
gotcha. Cool.
Anyway, I just wanted to mention this. It looks hilarious. It looks like it's a good bit of fun for not very much money, and I don't know. Every time I read the title, I always mess up and want to call it "Fainted Taint," but it's actually "Tainted Fate." I got to be careful when I say that because I don't know. I don't know if taints have anything to do with this game Roots.
Mm-hmm. Raw War 2377 says Xbox has more titles than PlayStation, more powerful and pro gamer. Sorry, PlayStation is dead in the water this generation. Did I mention more pre-sales worldwide?
Uh,
Did we mention Tempest Audio and what you know more about the PlayStation than I do?
well, I would like to mention the fact that this is a VR show, Roots.
Oh,
What would we point out as being the first thing that Xbox don't have during our VR podcast?
yeah, that's true, and that's the main thing that Xbox, and I don't know why they still don't have it, man. Why does Xbox, with being as powerful as it is and pro for gamers, they need to add the VR headset, right? Like they've got their own platform. They got Windows Mixed Reality, bro. Like they just, how hard would it be to just attach it to it?
Yeah, I
So
don't know, man. It just seems like they take every time they take a step forward, they take two back. I don't understand their marketing at all. So yeah, I don't know.
yeah, but I mean, obviously, we're not going to concede that there is a market for it. People love it. I see it in a lot of people's houses. I just, from a VR standpoint, I don't get it. And
Not there for me.
Rendered Reality was saying, we did have fun last night. He came into the stream and jumped into a couple games, and we crushed it, man. And for Population One, it's fun.
Awesome. Man. Sounds fun. I need to get into it, Roots. And I know I keep saying that about every game that we talk about, but seeing the way the community is really taking the Population One, it strikes me as probably pretty good because I mean, even the naysayers, even the people who crapped on it, are playing it. So
Yeah,
I guess that says it all.
once they tried it, it's definitely worth playing for sure.
Absolutely. All right, what else do we have? Do we have? Oh, yes, we have one more thing to talk about before we get into the reminders. Just a few words on Baba Yaga, which we have talked about before on the show. This is from Bell Bob Studios, the team behind including Asteroid, Invasion, and Pro the Legend. This is an animated fairy tale, Baba Yaga, that initially was slated to get a multi-platform release this year. But now, Baba Yaga has been confirmed for next year on just the Oculus Quest, at least for a period of time. Roots. It appears that Baba Yaga is now going to be a Quest exclusive.
Ah, cool. Well, and now they can actually the chat can hear you because the sound of the
Whoa, whoa,
audio.
whoa, whoa!
I got
Your
it.
trailer volume.
I
You
got
got
it.
it. Okay.
Yeah. No, I got it about 15 seconds in, but yeah, it's definitely must have been an amazing loud trailer, for sure. I don't know. I was watching this earlier, just when I was downloading it and noticing the names, the people that are in there, and just how cool it is to. I mean, this is what's going to draw people in. I saw somebody asking in Reddit yesterday, and they were asking, what do I put my 60-year-old grandma in that isn't into games? I want to show them stuff, and I suggested Wolves in the Wall, and like this type of stuff is stuff that there's people out there, they want to experience VR, they want to experience a cool story. They don't want to go into population one, they don't want to play video games, they just don't want to play games. Maybe Angry Birds, but this is geared towards them, and I love this type of stuff as well.
By the way, Angry Birds. I don't remember if we actually got to it last week or not, but they just got another spooky update, so a whole new set of levels. I think we did cover it, didn't we? It's
Yeah,
like 90 some levels now that they have in the game.
yeah, we did, absolutely. And I'm excited to check them out. I gamer chick, I need to go back into Angry Birds and check it out. I keep saying that. I need to go back in and check different games out, and I just never get
Oh,
around to it.
the spooky levels are the best. I mean, they're really what make the game because they introduce not only new environments, but new gameplay mechanics. Like the puzzles are a little more complex in the spooky levels. So
Yeah, cool. I definitely have to check them out for sure.
yeah, 100%. I'm gonna play through it. I mean, I've already have like a complete playthrough up on my channel until now. Now I don't. Now I have this new set of levels I got to go through. So obviously I'm going to play through those as well and post that up on my channel
Yeah,
shortly.
nice. Void Citizen says he keeps forgetting about Wolves on the Wall, and got to check it out. Definitely, it's one of the best experiences that made me feel like I was really in the story, like I was really a part of it, and made me elicited feelings from Roots that I didn't know were there. I felt very bad for this little girl. So,
Yeah, man. Yeah, perfect. Going to what you were just saying, it's a perfect thing, perfect type of thing to introduce newbies into VR. Like, titles like Wolves in the Wall and The Line, Gloomy Eyes. I
mm,
think any of these would be great. And it looks like Baba Yaga is certainly going to fit the bill there with this all-star cast that they have lined up for it. For those of you who couldn't hear me at the top of the segment, the headline here is, while this title was originally rumored to get a multi-platform 2020 release, it looks like it's now going to get a 2021 release, and at least for a little while be an Oculus Quest exclusive.
ah, cool. I'm looking forward to it. And did they haven't brought Wolves in the Wall out to the Quest 2 yet, have they? Like some of those things need to
Oh,
be ported over. I think they would be really good in the Quest.
I agree absolutely. Adding Angry Birds to the list, she says. Roots.
Yeah, see, I got a long list of games that I need to get back into. That would be an easy one because I'm not like Wes. I'm not going to go for the triple star. I just have to pass it to get to the next one, and I'm ready to go.
My approach to it is when I'm playing through it on video is I'll go for 3 stars, right? But if I get two, I'll try one more time. Like if I get two, I'll try one more time to get 3 stars, and then if I can't get it, I'll move on to the next one.
Yeah, it's a good plan.
Baba Yaga is a contemporary portrayal of the Eastern European legend, offering up a mixture of 2D pop-up animation as well as hand-drawn and stop-motion styles for a visually unique short. Roots, did you know that there was this many different types of animation going on here? I thought it was just like a normal CGI experience.
I don't know anything about all this. The way that people bring stuff like this into VR or just even into to life on a flat screen just is so baffling to me. And it's like magic, man. It's a voodoo magic.
Dude, that's exactly what it is. People, people just put together some nuts and bolts on these headsets here, and then they take it down. They ship them down to Louisiana to the voodoo cult, and they chant some stuff, and then all of a sudden we have a working VR headset.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's probably how Pimax made theirs. You know, it's funny because people were talking about that new headset, right? That one that we kind of touched. I think we touched on it. I don't know if we did or not.
Yeah, the one
Um,
with the hip tracking.
yeah, the one that that's really cheap. Yeah, we did talk on it because we were both saying that it's a little bit too good to be true or whatever. I don't know, but I saw somebody talking about it in the Reddit, and they were saying, they weren't sure. They thought, this is a little bit of scam, and this is my thought. It just looked too much like a Pimax flashback nightmare. Even Sebastian is there. You know what I mean? Like everything is all there that was there the first time, and I'm just like, nah. It's a hard pass for me. I, I saw what I still people are still believing in Pimax. I don't get it. To me, it's very bizarre.
Well, I will say this that I would like to hear some new reviews of Pimax in the light of the new graphics cards because
Oh,
the latest Pimax headsets that got released, like the very newest ones, were actually pretty good compared to, according to reviews. They have better components, better screens, better lenses, better everything, better comfort. But really, the one big downfall with them is that the graphics cards
mm,
really couldn't push them to their limit. So
okay.
I'd like to see somebody with the 3090 now try one of these.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say that's just what I just heard you say is derail. You need to go pick up a Pimax, report back to Virtual Strangers how it runs.
8KX.
Yep.
Pimax 8KX. That's the one you want to get.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, offering up interactive elements, Baba Yaga allows you to make decisions in this short film, which explores themes including, get this, Roots, empowerment and environmentalism. So I know this is currently just rocketed up to the top of your list, right,
Oh
of things you
yeah.
want to try out.
Well, you don't get mainstream people in there without pushing some kind of agenda. I mean, maybe some people might like it. My thing is hey, just as long as it's not in my face, you can still tell the story without like trying to make me feel guilty about everything. I already feel guilty, Wes. Like, you know. So
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. You should, Roots. You should.
yeah, I should.
Uh, it's also got a star-studded cast with Oscar winner Kate Winslet, starring as Baba Yaga, Daisy Ridley as Magda, Oscar and three-time Grammy winner Jennifer Hudson as the Enchanted Forest. Roots, she's playing the whole forest.
She's playing the
What a
whole.
talent she is.
Yeah, that's pretty good, bro. I didn't even know. I didn't even know the forest had a soul. But hey, I guess it sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, and then three-time Golden Globe winner and Oscar nominee Glenn Close as the mother. So literally an all-star cast here, Roots. Most Hollywood productions don't have this kind of a lineup that this VR experience has, which is really impressive because it's written and directed by the head, the CEO of Bale Bob Studios. So it's literally this VR studio guy is writing and directing this thing and got all of this talent to come and make it a reality. So kudos to him.
Yeah, well, I've said it before in the past. It's what's going to take. It's going to take stuff like this to really bring mainstream. It's like when movie stars moved over to TV, and then the TV shows became more credible. It was a big deal when that happened. It's just as big a deal for these VR things. And how many times do we have to hear the developer's family member as one of the characters, and you're like, ugh.
Right.
It was good, but that person sucked at acting. I mean, these people are professionals; they know what they're doing, and it's great for them because they don't even have to go in anywhere. They can record it from home probably and just send it in, right? Because it's all audio.
You're talking about that boat guy on Renlow, aren't you?
Yeah, dude. I'll tell you, man. There's so many. There's that one cast, man, and people did. It's very important to have the acting correct. If the acting
Oh,
gets nailed, then and you can overlook almost some of the other stuff. So
and I gotta agree with that. And a lot of these newer indie games in VR have actually impressed me with the the level of voice acting that they've had going on in there.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
Baba Yaga is part of the Rain Dance Immersive 2020 Festival, which began this week and runs through 15th of November 2020. And again, as I said before, the title will now be available exclusively on Oculus Quest early 2021.
Ah, so you can still go check it out at that thing at the festival or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the details of the Rain Dance Immersive Festival. I'm not sure if it's open to the public or not. It might be something that you have to be credentialed for.
I gotcha.
But I do believe it probably be worth checking out. I think this article came from VR Focus. So just anybody who's interested, go to VR Focus, open up um, the Baba Yaga article that they have on there, and then the rain dance thing is linked so that you can link to it from there.
Ah, cool.
And Ruth, that's going to bring us to the end of the news and bring us into the reminders. How many weeks has it been since we actually made it into the reminders?
It's been several actually. It's what's bad is because, believe it or not, because I pull almost every single game because I don't know which one we're going to stop on or where I'm going to want to do. So I make a list of like 15, 20, 30 different sources and then we don't use them. And so for me, it's like, ugh, ripping out my guts every time that happens. But no,
Well,
finally.
I would contend, to be fair, I would contend that I move so quickly through these anyway. You should probably just pick one from each category and then just leave that one playing instead of trying to constantly switch games.
Yeah, probably.
So save yourself some work, buddy. That's all I'm trying to say.
Man, sounds good to me.
Anyway, but before we get to free stuff and killer deals, which is actually, there's a lot of killer deals this week, Roots. There is so many killer deals this week. We need to do a wish list. How long is it? It's been like a month, right? Since we did wish list. So
Yeah.
for those of you who are new to the channel and don't know what wish list is, we ask you to please, with us right now in real time, let's help out these developers by going onto Steam, by going on to Oculus, by going on to the PSN. Let's go on there all together right now and wishlist a game. There were plenty of awesome games that we talked about during the show today. There are other games that we talked about last week or we haven't talked about, maybe a game that's on your mind. But these developers pretty universally ask us to please wishlist the games. It helps raise their profile on the storefront. It also helps them to gauge interest from the community, and it's really important to them. And that's one of the things we like to do here to help support the developers is wishlist games and encourage all of you to go along with us as we do so. And Roots, I already know right off the bat what I'm going for. Uh, Tainted Fate. Uh, that game's that's hilarious, and I'm going to go wishlist it right now.
Yeah, I just did Warhammer as well. Both of those. I've already done Star Wars Galaxy, and I own Yupitergrad. So I think I've got it all, man.
Well, you could go to Oculus and wishlist Yupitergrad.
No, that's too much. I own it on both platforms. Remember?
Oh, that's right. You bought it on both already, didn't you?
Yeah, I bought it on both platforms, and I'm waiting for Yupitergrad to come to Quest too, because I'm gonna should get it for free. I hope.
I'm going to actually ask the developer. They're on our Discord, so I'll hit them up in a very public way later today if I can remember and ask about it.
That sounds good to me. Yeah, one more day on the Halloween sale, Drillo says. But if there's any games on Steam that you want, you better pick them up today because there's so many games Wes listed that he literally had to stop because there's just too many.
I made it like halfway through. Like I made it halfway through, and it was like, dude, I can't do this anymore. Like everything's on sale. Everything's on sale.
I know.
Like literally everything. So like I picked some highlights out of the first half of the thing, but there are so many games on sale right now. Anybody who's new to VR, somebody like Void Citizen, who's trying to put together a library on the cheap because they're new to PCVR. Maybe they got a Quest 2. Um, yeah, this is the time, bro. These sales like this come a few times a year.
It just
And
makes me realize that I have too many games because I will look at the list and I'm like, there's nothing for me to buy, bro. Like I got it all. You know what I mean? Like it's a good problem to have game wise, but sometimes it's too much.
what about Dirt Rally 2? You got that
I
one?
don't have Dirt Rally 2. You know, and I keep going back and see those. There's a couple games that I keep talking myself out of. I need to go back into it because it looks pretty good, right? I don't know.
Yeah, remember says Profundum is 75% off. That's the VR game I have to pick up on this sale. I'm getting Phasmophobia. That's the game I'm picking up.
Oh yeah, it's only like $12, dude. It's a good
Yeah.
deal.
Anyway, now that we've made it through Wishlist, I guess we should officially move on to free stuff and killer deals. Starting off, as we always do, it's the last couple of days to pick up the PlayStation Plus games for October. Couple of good ones here, folks. Need for Speed Payback as well as Vampire. Don't miss out on them. Again, the games are going to change on Tuesday,
Yeah, I think so.
and you won't be able to get them anymore. So pick them up now while you still can.
Absolutely.
You know, Roots, I was reading, I just re-upped my PlayStation Plus on for 2 years. And on both accounts, I got two PS Plus accounts for multiplayer. And, there was such a ridiculous deal on the CDK's website, literally half price for an annual subscription to PlayStation Plus, $30 a year. And I was kind of questioning it whether or not I'd made the right decision. They don't give away a lot of VR games, and I was kind of hoping that at least somewhat soon that they would put a PlayStation 5 game or two on there. But I wasn't expecting it as soon as it's actually going to come because over the last week, Sony has announced that two of their launch titles during their big showcase. Remember the PS5 Games Showcase?
Yeah.
Two of those titles that they showcased during that thing are going to actually end up being PlayStation Plus titles. One at launch this next month, and then another one has been postponed until next year. But when it releases, I think in January, it's also going to be for free with PlayStation Plus. So there you go, $30 for a year. This and already two PS5 games
Nice.
that you're going to get with it.
Well, that's
So
good too. So somebody that just got the PS5 is going to have a game right at launch if they've got the PlayStation Plus and
yeah.
right?
Now, to be fair, one of the titles that they're giving away is the one that everyone's making fun of.
Which one?
Bug Snacks. Bug Snacks. You remember Bug Snacks?
I do. Who doesn't want to play Bug Snacks though? Is that the one that you get for free at launch?
That's the one that's going to be free at launch. Is Bug Snacks. The other
Oh.
one though is the Destruction All Stars Arena, that multiplayer arena game that looked like I don't know, kind of like an esports type game.
Oh,
It looked
nice.
like a highly polished AAA game, and when they announced that they had to postpone it, they also announced that they're going to give it away. So
That's the game you want to have for free, right? The
yes,
multiplayer one.
multiplayer. Exactly. You need players in there. So
Yeah, absolutely.
anyway, there is a sale on PlayStation Network, and if Paradise Decay is still watching, don't click on PSVR from the top bar to view the games. Go to PlayStation Store, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and then there's a link at the bottom that says check out games. And when you go to that and then go to PlayStation VR, it'll have the whole catalog alphabetized, and you can see all the games.
Nice. And a lot of sales, right?
There is this week. I did, only copy down a few here, but there's actually a pretty decent VR sale going on PlayStation right now. First of all, Star Wars Squadrons is actually on sale across all platforms. Roots for 25% off, $30.
That's
A great deal on a AAA VR game.
yeah, especially a game that just came out. Spry Guy was saying yesterday that he screwed himself. He should have just he could have waited and got it for $30. That's a good deal, right?
You know who else would screw him for $30?
My mom.
Oh man, she's cheap.
Not that cheap, dude. You can get a AAA VR game for 30 bucks.
That's true, man. AAA, and you got Population One's $30 as well, man. So
Speaking of Star Wars Squadrons, I need to get back into that game, Roots.
yeah, I've been thinking about it myself. I mean, they just fixed the frame rates problems, I guess, but they haven't really. I don't know. There's something about still a little bit of work that's made me want to wait a little bit, because I want to go into it when it's completely fixed, and hopefully the next patch will fix everything that's not 100%.
Blows my mind, dude. Blows my mind because I experienced this on PlayStation VR and it was great. It was fun.
Yeah.
So I do have it on PC. I bought it. It was like the first thing I did when I got my headset was go and buy this game, discounted from the Epic Store, and I haven't even booted it yet. I haven't checked it out. I don't know what it's like on PC. So
Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll be fixed completely soon. And because I've been enjoying the story and the gameplay, especially with the HOTAS. I haven't even hooked up my HOTAS. It's this Quest 1 or Quest 2 thing is taking over my world, and
Boyd Citizen, I think might be a little bit behind on the show. He just popped up in the chat and said he said fainted taint.
yeah. Well, that's definitely a good slip of the tongue, right?
Yeah. You know who else likes it? Never mind. Vader Immortal Roots also 25% off on PlayStation VR right now. $22 for the whole shebang. That, my friend, is what I would call a fair price.
Yeah, especially if you haven't played it at all, you've been holding back, you haven't been wanting to check it out. The fact that you can play it all three in one thing, that's a good thing. Not having to wait. So
Absolutely. Aspire One Roots, a fairly big deal last year. $12 on PlayStation right now.
yeah, this is one of those games that we enjoyed what we played, although we tore through it, right? Definitely a good game though.
Yeah, it was quality. I didn't play it on PlayStation, and it did get some mixed reviews on PlayStation due to performance issues, but I think most of that's been patched up now, and it's a solid game. It's not game of the year or anything, but it's a solid game.
Yep.
Definitely worth $12.
Yeah, absolutely.
Paradise Decay says they got Baby Yoda now, and it's running smoother.
Oh wow, nice. Okay, so maybe if they got Baby Yoda, dude, like what am I doing, Wes? I should be in there right now.
Brandon 135, frame rates are so much better. Still not an optimized game though.
Okay, so well, that's good. The frame rates are fixed, and hopefully they'll get the optimization in this next patch, and then Roots will get back in there. I'm starting to feel and understand Alex a little bit more with his early access feeling. Not that it's early access, but like I want to play the game in its finished form. I want to play it when it's optimized. I don't want to play a little bit and wait for a patch. Play a little bit more, wait for another patch. Especially for a game that is considered AAA.
Yeah, totally understandable. As long as you're good with buying a game and sitting on it. 'Cause see, my whole attitude with early access is that it normally comes from smaller independent developers, and the only reason that they're doing it is because they need the money. So, like, if you have confidence that they're going to complete the game and you just don't want to play it until it's complete, buy it and sit on it. And I'm totally cool with that and completely understand it.
Yeah.
Let's see here. LA Noir Roots. This is one of your gems. $15 on PlayStation right now.
Yeah, this is one of the. I really love this game. I need to get back into it. There's another one for my list. I actually need to finish it on flat and VR. So
there you go. The Persistence. One of the very best games in VR, regardless of what platform you play it on. On sale on multiple platforms, by the way. You can pick this up cheap on Steam as well. $19 on PlayStation right now. Normally $30, Roots. Good deal.
yeah, this game's worth $20 all day. Worth $30. That's definitely a really good game.
For sure. And then Torn, Roots, a solid puzzle game for $7.
Yeah, this is one of those games I got so far, and I it's one that you want to continue playing. You don't want to stop and then wait for a while and try to come back to it, because those puzzles are very different, and I forgot where I was at I have no idea, and there's so
You
much
see,
going
that was
on.
me. I was considering going back into this game recently, and that was my conclusion as well. Is that I would literally have to start over because it's so story driven, and it's not linear. Like you have to go back and forth in this mansion a lot, based on what the story's doing to solve the puzzles. So yeah, I'd literally have to start over again to play this game.
Yeah, it was cool though. It actually was really, now watching the gameplay, there was so much to it, you know. So
Yeah, yeah, solid game, really was. $7,
yeah,
certainly worth it.
yep.
Let's see here. What do we have? Epic Game Store roots. A lot being said over the Blair Witch game that just came out for Oculus Quest. Most people who reviewed it liked it. Some people, others, thought it was boring. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't think it was great. I put it on the level of something like a Face Your Fears 2 type game, where it's good enough to keep my attention. It's good enough to keep me playing. It's not a top 10 horror game or anything. But interestingly enough, the flat version is free this week on the Epic Game Store.
Oh wow. Now let me ask you this, because you say it was a little, I mean, it was good but not great. Did you, if you maybe would have gone to a haunted forest like Paradise Decay in real life and played it, that was so cool. I saw that he did that. I was like, wow, what a great idea. If you haven't checked out Paradise Decay's video on his channel, he actually plays the game in a haunted forest, and that's pretty cool.
I got to imagine that actually would help build the immersion to be out in the forest. Like you feel like it does a pretty good job of the game itself of making you feel like you're in a forest.
Yeah, yeah. And then you feel the
the
cold, cool air, and you hear the noise of the real world around you. I think it'd be pretty cool, right?
especially like if you use your Quest in open ear headphones, like so that the outside sound blends in with the game sound. Yeah, that'd probably be pretty freaking awesome, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
I might finish it in my backyard, Roots.
Oh, hey, that's a good idea, man. And just tell your kids to try to trip you and do weird stuff to make you feel like there's ghosts there. Sounds good.
Well, I haven't really had. I've only had one case where something actually touched me in the game, but for the most part, I've been able to ward off the evil beings with my flashlight. So.
Oh, nice. Bitey says Elite Dangerous is 75% off and includes Horizons DLC, and that's an expensive game. That's a really good deal.
That's true. It's absolutely true. Also, Ghostbusters, the video game remastered, free on the Epic Games Store. So, Blair Witch and Ghostbusters, both free on Epic Games this week.
I'm excited about the Ghostbusters one. I actually almost bought that like a month ago, just because I enjoyed the original and I wanted to play remastered, and for some reason I didn't. Now I've got it for free and I get to play it and I don't have to pay for it. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. And then we move on to the Quest Store. There actually is a title on sale in the Quest Store, even though it's hard to find. The Affected the Manor is $8, and that is significant. Why? Because of the Darkness update on the Oculus Quest. So even if you have this thing already, maybe you don't want to wait on Darkness update to come to your platform. I'm pretty sure it's live now on the Oculus Quest.
Yeah, yeah. This is definitely a game. I've almost picked it up a couple times because I don't own it. So
yeah, and another one that the added immersion of playing untethered would probably help this game quite a bit.
Yep, I agree.
Then we move on to the Oculus Link Store, and there's actually a fairly sizable sale going on the Link Store. Again, I only took a few titles down here, so go check it out yourself. This is just the highlights. Arizona Sunshine Roots, a title that I've regained a renewed appreciation for in recent months. I think that this game actually doesn't really get the credit it deserves as a classic VR shooter. $16 right now, dude, and that's absolutely a good price for it.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's too much for 40. It's just too much for this game, but $16 is perfect. I mean, it's an amazing game, and I kind of regained a little bit of, just with our gameplay we did for the money show. I forgot how fast these zombies run at you. You know, that's one of the things. Some of these come bolting and just booking at you. It's a different feel than any of the other zombie games, you know, because all the other zombies, for the most part, are generally slow. And there's something more creepy about something that's running at you full speed. And I was really impressed with the multiplayer.
It was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very fun. Absolutely. PD says Ghostbusters has a Vorpex profile, so I might be playing that, streaming it. That'd be cool.
There you go.
Yeah,
And Spry Guy says Helix Vision also.
nice. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to
I
check this
wanna,
out.
I need to test Helix with my new graphics card because there have been reports of complications, and then there have been reports of workarounds. So
Let
I
me
need to
know.
see how the thing runs.
Yeah, let me know with the workarounds because that was my problem with why you had so much success and I didn't have as much success. Is that everything past the 1080 just becomes weird with Helix Vision, and there's workarounds, but they don't work as well. Like the 1080 worked with everything. So
Well, we shall see. Let's see here. Moss Roots is on sale for $20. This is one that I'm surprised that I haven't gone back into. Generally, when I get a new headset, no matter what it is, Moss is one of the first titles that I go for just because it's so beautiful.
yeah, but I think you're a lot of what's probably going through your head. Maybe it's not, but like if you save Moss for a day when you can go back and forth between the Reverb and the Quest 2, you might even be like really blown away. You're like, yeah, Quest 2 looks amazing. You get the Reverb and you're like, oh my God, like this is just
Right.
phenomenal. So,
Yeah, they're sending out notices and stuff. They're gonna start shipping these things soon now. Like within
nice. You should be getting
a
your
couple
ears too
weeks.
soon, right? Your VR ears?
No, they pushed those back to like early next year.
Oh, I thought I saw
But
somebody just, maybe that's what I saw is it was pushed back. I don't know.
well, no, what it was is they are allowing people to switch their orders to get
Quest 2.
the Quest 2, right? Instead of the clips that clip on the Quest 1, you can switch it now to Quest 2, which is cool. But I feel like it's the right thing for them to do. If they're gonna take a Kickstarter like that and then take people's money and then wait so long to release it that literally the hardware goes into a new generation,
Hmm.
then they should let people change to the newer one.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
kudos to them for actually allowing that to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Carnage Chronicles Roots, $19. Beautiful game, right?
Yeah, great multiplayer as well. 3 people, and we had a lot of fun in this game for sure.
Absolutely. Blaze Rush, $4. An oldie but a goodie.
Yeah, $4, dude. You know, as I was watching the trailer for this again, it just struck me at how much carnage this is. Because like we play Mini Motor X, and you each get one little thing each round, and you shoot each other and stuff. I'm watching people just bombard. It just looks like chaos, and it reminded me of just how much chaos it actually is, and it reminded me of how good it is and why people still rave about it. And for $4, I don't know why you wouldn't own this game.
There you go. You heard it from the horse's mouth. I don't know. I've never played it, Roots.
It's cool, dude. You need to pick it up. If you don't, do you have it? I mean, I know. I think
Oh,
it's for $4, dude. I guarantee you'll love it. And it's multiplayer. We could get in there. We could just trash it up, dude.
money show, bro. Money show.
Yeah, absolutely.
We do need titles for the money show.
You know what would be good where a money show too is like for some of the Patreons, and hit us up in the Discord if this would be something you're interested in. Maybe you get to join us for a money show. That'd be pretty cool.
That is true. If you're down not only to play multiplayer VR games, but to discuss the issues, this is the hook of the money show, people. For those of you who are not supporting us on Patreon, we do the money show, and the money show is a co-op gameplay, right? But the idea is we really don't react to the game. We talk issues in VR like we do on this show. So like you'll see us in these like, wicked, intense firefights inside VR, but we're just casually talking about, PSVR being dead or something.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's a fun time.
So yeah, patrons, if you would like to participate in any of these shows, be sure to let us know. There are mini games that actually support 3, 4, and even more players than that. So we're absolutely open to having on uh, patrons on the Money Show. The Money Show's for the patrons, so it can be whatever they want it to be.
Walkabout Mini Golf, Wes. $15. It's got a Quest 2 and it's got cross buy up to 5 players, and the courses are super cool. And I've never played anything that feels like real miniature golf. I've never played multiplayer, but everybody's raving about it, so that'd be another one.
Well, I literally hadn't heard of that game until I saw you guys talking about it on the Discord the other day.
Yeah, it's really good. I just played through half the maps, and there's like 10 different 18 hole things. So there's a lot of different courses, and they just keep getting progressively crazy. So that's cool.
Yeah, man, awesome. I noticed some new faces in the multiplayer section of our Discord, and it looked like you guys had a lot of fun playing these different things this week. I'd like to point out to people who are new, you can join our Discord by clicking the link in the description below. And for those of you that are interested in Patreon and the Money Show, the Patreon is also linked in the description below. We
Yep.
certainly appreciate everyone's support on both of those fronts.
Absolutely.
Detached Roots. You want to go to outer space? It's going to cost you $7.
No, that's a cheap price of admission, man. Who doesn't want to go to outer space? I'm just trying to. If I could just meet Elon Musk in person, I guarantee I could go. Shake his hand, and he'll send me up there.
Guaranteed. Confirmed.
Yep. And confirmed. Yeah, as much as the PlayStation VR is dead.
Right. Never Out Roots. A fair puzzle game according to most. $1.
Wow. $1. Wow. See, I never played that game. Is it pretty good?
People say it's all right. I mean, It's not going to be game of the year or anything, but it's fun. Good time.
Absolutely.
And then we have Yupitergrad, which we were talking about earlier, one of the best games of the year, a must-buy title, and absolute recommend at $13.
Yeah, I recommend this game all day, especially if you are into Windlands 2 at all, or any of the movement. The puzzles are cool, and the story, I just liked it. It was really good.
Yeah, it was fun to play. There was good humor in it. The cel-shaded graphics look good. The mechanics, the gameplay mechanics feel good. And they've even updated it a couple of times with like some options and stuff that weren't there before. So
yeah, it just feels good. The movement around it feels so good that it just is such a fun game to play that I see myself playing through it again. So
I see that as well. So that brings us to the final entry, I think, on our free stuff and killer deals, and that's the Steam Halloween sale. And again, folks, I reiterate to you, I have a bunch of titles here, and these are just highlights from the first half of the VR list on the Steam Halloween sale. It is absolutely massive. If there's a game that you want, it's probably on sale. You should go check it out today because, again, the sale only has a day left on it.
yeah, you're gonna miss all the games, and tomorrow you're gonna be very sad.
Yep. Anyways, speaking of games on sale on Steam, why don't we start with the granddaddy of them all, Roots? Half-Life Alyx, according to many people, the best VR game of all time, getting its first real sale at $45. And if that, awesome campaign isn't enough for you, this is the game that keeps on giving, as the Steam Workshop continues to bring us user-created content, some of which is just as good as some of the levels in the game.
Yeah, I would say if you just got into VR and you have absolutely no games, this would be a great game to pick up as your only one because, like you said, you got the main game and then you have all those different creations and more to come. And if you know anything about Source 1 and what was created over the last decade with it, Source 2 is going to be doing that much more. I think you're going to kick yourself for not owning this game for such a cheap price.
Or if you don't buy it, I'm going to kick you. How about that?
Yeah, you know who else likes to kick you?
My mom!
Meet me outside. How about that?
Yeah, that's right.
Phasmophobia Roots, everybody's favorite game, $12.
Yeah, this is creepy. I want to get back into this. Everybody is loving this game, and I only went in for such a short little bit. But you and I, we talked to Gamertag after our interview, and he was talking about this game and really raving about it. Right? That there's a lot of depth to this game. So
Mepper says this Blaze Rush a VR game. I'm hoping Dash Dash is good when it releases soon. Dash Dash is in full release now. It is a cross-buy compatible title, and Dash Dash, Dash Dash is better than Blaze Rush, right?
yeah, see, Blaze Rush is better in the form of like that massive smashing around, because it's all tabletop. It's the mini motor. It's the I can never think of those stupid cars from when we were kids, but it's literally feeling like that. Like you're looking at the table and it's just carnage and chaos. Dash Dash is more Mario Kart. You're in the car. Totally different types of games. Both of them are amazing for sure.
Yeah, $4 too, man. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, this one the it's more like Mini Motor X when you go up from above, except for there's just more carnage. And as you saw on the trailer, there's like different modes. There's one where something's chasing you, like it's like a lawnmower, and so maybe that's everyone. I don't know, but and so you're constantly getting thrown under that at the end, and then that you end up getting knocked out. It's just really fun. So,
Yeah, I need to check it out, especially at that price.
yeah, absolutely.
All right, so where are we? We went from everybody's favorite game, Phasmophobia, to Sion's favorite game, The Forest, $9.
Yeah, it's been having a lot of talk in the Discord, right? A lot of people getting back into this game, wanted to go check it out. Scion is a good guide. He will take you on a guided tour and show you this world like no other.
A 3-hour tour.
Yeah, don't get stranded.
Literally.
I don't want to get stranded in this world, Wes. There's a lot of creepy guys out there that are trying to attack you. We didn't go that far. Me and Wes fucked around and
stayed in one spot.
set each other on
fire.
Yeah, set each other on fire. I stole his food and ate it when he was starving. It was good times.
Good times. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Roots, one of the best games ever, and anyone who watches the channel already knows that. $32.
Yeah, definitely worth every penny of it for sure. After you're sad about your jank that you played in Onslaught, pick up Skydance's version and you'll be really happy with it. So
yeah, I mean anybody. You don't even have to be a fan of the show or the comic book to enjoy that game. I mean, it could be like titled generic zombie game, and it'd still be one of the best games in VR.
Yeah, absolutely.
Assetto Corsa Roots, another one, $4.
Yeah. See, this is one that people rave about, right? As far as the way it looks, I think. See, I stay away from most of these car games without the wheel, but people say it's really good. Or maybe that's the second one. I don't know.
No, I think it's this one. The Assetto Corsa, the newer one, I think is it's taken them a while to patch it up into something that's really playable.
Cool. Yeah, there's nothing like racing in VR. That's for sure.
For sure. Gorn, $10. Everybody's favorite melee brutalizer.
Yeah, it's definitely a TV breaker for sure. Be careful if you're playing this on the Quest 2. Wireless.
But $10 a good price for it. Also a good price for 11 Table Tennis, which is a game I've been interested in for some time.
Yeah, it's got real good physics, right? They say one of the best.
Yeah, that's supposedly the most realistic table tennis experience in VR.
Yeah, so I guess I'd have to be a table tennis aficionado to be able to tell, but I think I did try it and it was pretty good.
Yep. Paranormal Activity: The Lost Soul Roots. A tremendous price for this game right now at $6. I don't think I've ever seen it that cheap before.
No, and I was watching the trailer and I was watching it. It just looks so good. I forgot how good this game looks, right?
Yeah, it really does. Graphically speaking, it looks really good.
Yeah.
It's a solid game too. It's a pretty good horror game.
Yeah, definitely.
Thumper. We just talked about Thumper recently on the Monday show and how it like Arizona Sunshine, is an underrated game and really doesn't get the proper respect it deserves as a classic VR title. $6 for Thumper right now on Steam.
Yeah, such a good game, right?
Yeah, fun. Completely fun
And,
and immersive.
yeah, absolutely. I forgot what I was gonna say. Yep.
Now here's something that you've heard me talk about a few times on the channel here: the Exorcist Legion VR Deluxe Edition. The Exorcist Legion VR Deluxe Edition contains updated graphics as well as Valve Index support. This version of the game, Roots, only available on Steam. So if you get the complete edition on any other platform, you're not getting these updates. So I always suggest that people who are going to buy the Exorcist Legion VR that they should get the deluxe edition from Steam, and it's on sale right now for $19.
Wow, that's a good deal, huh? That's got all the changes, right?
Yeah, it's got all the new updates, and it's normally like what, like 25 or $30 to get all these. So
Yeah,
not a bad price.
yeah, absolutely.
Fabster says that Thumper is friggin' awesome on Quest.
It's the newest craze in accounting. VR accounting is the new thing.
It's the newest craze in accounting.
Dive right into the numbers.
Fuck you! Get out of my place! We got a new gang recruit, we'll call him Scooter!
Prove how fucked up you are if you want to join us.
Yeah!
Yes! We summoned Satan! Woo!
Devil!
Game, $5.
Oh wow. Well, it's, that definitely is a good game. I guess the sound was on that one too. I don't know what these some of these scenes, the audios just came back on. So I apologize for that.
Which one was it that the sound was on for?
I think it was just this last one, the Accounting Plus. That made Gamertag jump. I could see it worked. I got Gamertag to get out of his chair for a second. I was trying to do that.
I hope it was Accounting Plus.
Yeah.
Because it would be like, fuck you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I scared the ghosts in
Alright.
Petey's house.
So are we good now? The trailer audio
Yeah, it's
taken
off.
care of?
It's off, yeah.
Let's see, what's next? Oh, this is one of yours, Ruth. No Limits 2 does not go on sale very often. Hell of a price, though, for $24.
I've never seen it on sale, and this is one of the ones I was tempted to pull up Yaw videos. Saw a lot of Yaw videos for this game out there, and now I'm jealous again. I wanna ride the roller coaster, Wes.
Yeah, me too. And it makes me almost consider, you know, flipping some of this new merchandise I've got in exchange for one of those, right? Because I
Yeah,
could get one if I wanted to trade some of this headsets and shit off. I could have one.
yeah. But didn't your wife say that if you had that Yaw in your house and a roller coaster sim, you would never leave your room?
I think that that's a valid a valid observation.
Absolutely.
Quite honest. Let's see here. No Limits 2. Awesome roller coaster sim, by the way, people. Even has the roller coasters from your local amusement park on here.
Yep.
Pretty cool thing.
Absolutely.
The best title from Servios, Westworld Awakening, is $9.
That's such a good deal, man. I think I might pick this up because I don't own it. I was playing it on Alex's copy, and I might want to play it again.
Yeah, I mean $9 is the time to do it.
Yep. Yeah.
This next one is a title that I rather enjoyed, and it's a price. You know, it's the cheapest price I've ever seen it for. A Chair in a Room, Greenwater is a nice, creepy, psychological thriller / horror game. The same people that made the Exorcist Legion VR made this game, and it's $5 right now, which is crazy.
Yeah, especially if you like escape the room games, right? Like my daughter works in an escape the room place here in the Springs, and I got to go do that in real life, and kind of made me appreciate these kind of games a little bit more, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's not a pure escape the room, but that's really the kind of gameplay mostly that you're dealing with here. It's a series of rooms that you make your way through.
Yeah.
But a creepy story definitely weirds you out.
Yeah, sounds good.
Speaking of creepy, Dread Halls, $6, classic must-own VR horror game.
Yeah, this is definitely I think Spry Guy was playing through this last night. Definitely worth playing through, and it changes every time. So
Yeah, absolutely. Dread Eye, a title which I played through completely on my channel recently. $1, and
wow.
it was kind of short, but it was a fairly polished experience for what it was. A pretty decent amount of content, especially for $1.
Yeah, for $1. Wow. That's a good deal, right?
Yeah, yeah, for $1, you can't beat that. That's one of those. Why not, right? Speaking of which, Intruders is a great stealth game for $2, Roots.
Yeah, a definitely good story as well.
Yeah, one of the best examples of storytelling to date in VR.
Yep, absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, some of these are so cheap that it's just crazy. I mean, like, a chair in the room, Greenwater for $5, Dreadeye $1, Intruders $2, Asceta Corsa $4, Paranormal Activity $6. I mean, you could really put a library together right now.
Yeah, especially with the if you add in the Crow Team bundle, right? That one on top of that all, that's like several games in one. And every time I watch the trailer for this one, Wes, I want to go back in. I want to go back in with you. It's so fast paced, and the multiplayer I imagine is just crazy. I've never played it with somebody
This,
else.
I would say that this is probably the most perfect game for the money show that I've ever seen. Because the whole concept, right, is that we want to try to downplay all this chaos that's going on around us and just calmly talk about the issues. Well, there aren't many games that are as chaotic as Serious Sam, right?
Yeah, no, it's just crazy, and it just feels so good. I especially if you're one of those people that loves to zip around, you're moving so fast that I could see somebody getting motion sick if that's you're inclined to. But it just feels so good for me.
Yeah, it's a fast game. So yeah, definitely not for beginners here.
Yeah, no, but the weapons are so good, and the sound in this game is phenomenal, especially when things are coming at you from the side and you hear people screaming or whatever. It just really gets you moving. So
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Crow Team Bundle, for those of you who don't know, has all of the Serious Sam VR games in it, as well as the Talos Principle, and it's $31, which is crazy.
yeah, it's just crazy.
Let's see here. We did Dread Halls, we did Dread Eye, we did Intruders, Operation Warcade Roots, another classic, fun arcade style game, $5.
Yeah, it's worth it all day. That game is phenomenal. I really enjoy that, and I hope they bring it to the Quest too. I don't know why they wouldn't.
Yeah, I think that would be smart of them. I mean, Ivanovich Games. I mean, they're content kings, right? They put out 2 games a year. They might want to consider expanding their platforms a little bit and bringing some of the better ones over to Quest, because as we all know, that's where the money is right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And last but not least, we have the Miro Win bundle. And this is a bundle that we continue to recommend people buy, but it continues to drop price, Ruth. It gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. This bundle has Boiling Steel, it has Guns and Stories Bulletproof, and you get both of these awesome games for $6.
Oh my lord! Seriously? Are you're?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! Guns and Stories to me was worth $20. I mean, it was such a good game that I enjoyed. And to be able to get an amazing game like Boiling Steel on top of it, pretty much $3 a piece. That is, it's almost robbing them.
They're giving it away, right?
Yeah, they're giving it away, and that's, I mean, that's a lot of headsets out there. A lot of people with Quest 2s playing Steam games. So,
And I get what they're doing. They have that awesome new RU-77 project in the works. They need to fund that thing, right? They need money to develop it.
yeah,
So they continue to discount their games to stupid low prices to try to get people to fork up some cash. And I would highly suggest that anybody who don't have these games get them at this price. I mean, it's crazy how cheap it is.
Yeah, and Boiling Steel is a full-fledged long story game, right? Campaign. It's
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
mean, $6 for that, and then you get to play through, something that's a little bit more arcadey and fun. The bullet was the stories. I can't remember, bullet time stories or whatever it's called. Uh, but it's good.
Speaking of, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's just good.
Yeah, it is absolutely. Both of those games are top notch. I was going to say, speaking of arcadey and good, Hive Slayer is free on Steam and itch.io right now. And the developer says that this game mixes classic quarter machine arcade gameplay with the power of VR to transform you into the galaxy's deadliest defender. This game is free right now, Roots, but they are accepting donations for hurricane relief in Louisiana. So this game literally just released, and the developer decided to release it for free in an attempt to request donations for a good cause.
Oh, nice. It's funny because I didn't read the notes thoroughly. I saw Hive Slayer itch.io, and I mean, I'm not big on going through itch.io. I will, I guess, but if it's on Steam, it's just one click. It's an easy click. I just clicked it. I'm now downloading this game. I'll go check it out. How stupid is that, Wes? Like
Right?
I'm telling you, it's stupid to not just get it on itch.io if it was the only way to get it, but I was already adverse to getting it that way. So weird.
Gameplay looks like it could be pretty fun. It reminds me a little bit of Space Cats with lasers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it looks like it'd be one of those games that I would never just go out and buy it, but I would try it for free on Viveport or Steam and then say, wow, this is really cool. It's worth the money type of thing, which I'm not saying that, and I've never tried it, but it looks like it'd be worth trying for sure, at least for free, right?
Absolutely. It's just some clicks.
Yeah.
And you know who really needs clicks, Roots? We
Virtual,
need clicks.
yeah, Virtual Strangers.
Absolutely. Our community is growing, but it could always grow faster. And what it takes for our community to grow is clicks. So if you're new to the channel, please consider clicking the red button below, the one that says subscribe. Click the one with the bell on it. If you like the video, click the one that looks like this. If you didn't like it, click the one that looks like this. And then go stick it up your ass. Just kidding. Uh,
um,
anyway, yeah, we appreciate you guys. Please click all the buttons. It helps us to grow.
yeah, and if you haven't already, join the Discord because it's growing as well. Everybody's joining in. We're getting a lot of people in there for looking for group. We're constantly, I mean, we were up at 1 a.m. looking for people for Pop 1 last night because it was just me and Scion. And then, I mean, you just keep getting people dropping in that maybe for 2-3 games. That's what's so cool about it.
That's kind of crazy, man, because that's like right around the time that I start playing is when it's 1 a.m. for you. That's when I start playing here. So
Well, I was getting ready to go to bed. It's funny. I even told my stream, I said, man, I wonder if we could get Wes to come in. And then I said, who am I kidding, dude? It's, it's Saturday night. Wes is preparing for the show, bro. He ain't playing video games on Saturday night. Any other night, but Saturday and Sunday, usually you're working on the show. So,
yeah, slipped in the chair again last night, Roots. So yeah, you're absolutely right. That's what I was doing.
well, that's what tonight's for, right?
Absolutely. Anyway, so yeah, please subscribe if you haven't already. Please join the Discord if you'd like to continue with this conversation. We're on there 24/7. Of course, we already talked about Patreon, $3 a month. There are other tiers. Doesn't matter which tier you're in. Everybody gets the same benefit, which is our weekly show notes and access to the Money Show. So thank you to all the patrons out there. Thank you to the new patron, and I have to scroll back up.
Eric Masher.
Eric Masher. Thank you, Eric Masher. Thank you, Roots.
Yeah, I just know because
thanks, Eric.
he keeps coming to my YouTube, man. He's been there the last couple streams. I appreciate you, Eric.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate your support. And I'm forgetting something, Roots. What am I forgetting? So we've got Discord, we've got Patreon.
Sub. I think that was it. I don't think there's
Yeah,
anything else. I think we're good.
Well, with that said, friends, I would like to thank you all once again for watching. For Roots, I'm Wes. We will see you tomorrow. Game of the month tomorrow, guys. So be sure to show up to the Monday show. Bye bye.
Absolutely. Take it easy and check out my stream today, 2 o'clock, 4 Eastern.